But last time we were together, 2 weeks ago, um, you guys were in the middle of the Blood Festival. It's the last day of the month of light, which is the 12th of the 18th month of the cycle. Um, and the fourth day of the Blood Festival. You started last session kind of split in your respective homes, more or less, with Birdman and Eros kind of discussing newfound telepathic powers. Uh, Something created and aided by their discussion as best as they can understand with their interactions with Altapar, as well as past trauma, anxiety, and fear. Nonetheless, you guys can now, Eros can enter people's minds if they so choose, I guess, without just a spell slot,
Mm.
because of roguey things. Um, you guys then receive a message from Shallow Butter concerned about Eros's punctuality and her performance for the Drow's matrons. Eros sends a magical message to Shallow Butter to confirm her anticipation and arrival, settling the idea that, she just needs to go get and finish her outfit, and then she's on her way. During this conversation, you guys are making your way to the Herald's Tavern to kind of meet up with the others. Cotton and Strike have brought the children already there for breakfast and waiting as they wait for Birdman, Mel, and Setch to kind of arrive. Setch arrives soon and joins the others at the larger table. Um, late, late, a little bit after that word, after some conversation, Mel arrives disguised as a barmaid of the Herald's Tavern to observe and maybe understand um, the aggressiveness of her group, I guess, and just kind of their
Their
situation that
situation that
they put
they
themselves in. With the chaos caused by Altapar's death the day beforehand. Um, Meanwhile, Mel overhears a Orthoptera, which is a grasshopper person, basically, talking of Eros and her burgeoning reputation of the days prior, mostly related to Altapar. This is also at least in name by Eros, who with others kind of speak in her name. She cannot help but be curious, and she starts to read the surface thoughts with magic of the Orthoptera and its odd drow companion. This drow didn't bear the mark of the 12th house. They looked basically like a citizen of the city, which isn't odd to see for a drow. And near the end of the spell, Eros, the drow went and got a drink and then came back. And towards the end of the spell, she hears in his thoughts about how he was investigating her, curious of the reputation building of this young human bard. This causes Eros to kind of jump over and threaten the drow noble of a house, definitely a noble of a house other than 12. And it's only with Mel's, Cotton's, and Birdman's involvement that uh, they were able to kind of intimidate the drow and control Eros long enough for the drow to just kind of walk away. Um, he waits for a few moments outside and almost talks to Birdman before Eros storms out after disagreeing with Mel about how chaotic choices have consequences. And the truth kind of comes often afterwards of like what you miss when you act kind of that way. Eros kind of storms away, and Birdman and her agree to go to the 12th house together. Inside, it's Mel and Setch kind of come up with a plan to gather materials and repair her broken house after a Bloody Mary and a beer together. Setch offers his Bloody Mary as kind of a peace offering, and they kind of spend the rest of their morning just kind of repairing the house and going about town and gathering resources for that situation. Meanwhile, Cotton is arranging steps to kind of understand Altapar's vaults as rumors are spreading throughout the day of how the 12th house has started to clean up his real estate businesses, and they found this basement level of his tower that no one knew about. No one can seem to get past these traps that lay about, it seems. So Cotton involves Hantamon, and they try to find others that may assist with this. But not having Strike there too involved with the children, we kind of roleplayed that session ago. And Eros and Birdman going to the 12th house without really communicating with the others. Their Hantamon and Cotton didn't really know what to do about the vault at this point. So they said maybe later, or if not, then not the end of the world, I guess. Um, Arrows and Birdman are on their way, gathering resources and her outfit to go to the 12th house. Leandra kind of joins them, but they are met by Shallowbutter outside, this drow captain, and she's very impatient and pushes Eros to kind of finish things very quickly. To greet her matron, it's obviously her matron of the drow house that she's a part of is not being patient enough to where she's pushing Shallowbutter to go find Eros. With this rush, Eros tells Leandra to kind of stay behind, and she links telepathically with Birdman to allow him to kind of follow her through the dark tunnels of the 12th house drow once you guys kind of get there. You weave through city streets and stairwells, and Shadowblutter leads Eros, her drow squad, and behind everyone, Birdman is kind of slinking thereafter, deep into the tunnels beneath the city of the Salt. The caverns twist east and west and flow north and south, edging on cave cliffs, rocky shale, darkening caves. And still, Eros only sees the light of Shallowbutter's torch into the last few hundred feet of a 30-minute long trek below. That until a pale white with an opalescent purple glow takes over their view, like the rising sun in the darkness. Cotton, during this time, meets again with Hantelman, and they kind of say it's kind of no one's going to get into the vault at that point, to kind of just wash it up at that point. But during that conversation, Cotton is met up. Talaria finds her as you were kind of close to the Herald's Tavern, a place Talaria knows. And she's in search of Birdman and Eros, who Eros has communicated with her magically about what's going on in town. And the last communication they had, Talaria said she would return and help with what the 12th house seems to be going on. Uh, she brought a friend with her that she met out in her adventures over the last couple days in the south. And this dwarf has been captured because he was bringing in an illegal, quote unquote, and no one really quite knows what that means, artifact, magic thing of some sort. And he was arrested, and Talaria can speak telepathically as well, and Talaria basically informed him to just like keep his cool, and she'll find a way so they don't draw more eyes other than him being kind of this immigrant dwarf from the south. Um, so she came here trying to like, hey, can we find a way to get him out? Birdman is an attorney. Birdman, no one knows where he is. Eros, you guys kind of eavesdrop that you guys know that she's in the 12th house somewhere, but that's about as far as it goes. So Cotton starts to kind of direct a plan, so to speak, having seen the inside of the stage prisons before. And on some napkins and old pieces of paper, she draws out this very detailed map of the prisons, and you guys started to lay a plan with Setch and Mel eventually to break out Talaria's dwarf friend. Finally, at the end of last session, we are with Eros deeper in the caves, and she is met into this room by this priestess, sorceress person, Nefertiri, this drow mage of some sort, with these petrified spiders and petrified spider eggs around the room, kind of glorified and altar-like. And Eros is led to a room to basically freshen up as Nefertiri goes to inform the matron of Eros's arrival, and then we pick up with the group split in two ways. Um, Again, with Birdman waiting tunnels above, but still within telepathic connection to Eros. Probably a couple 100 feet of dashing before you could get to Eros, down tunnels and stairs and whatnot. But nonetheless, still connected. You guys have been speaking. Just outside still within the city, is where you are basically. And Eros down below, whereas the rest of the group is still at the Herald's Tavern, laying their plan for breaking out Talaria's friend from prison. So why don't we pick up with where we have the majority of people, I think, first. At the Herald's Tavern with Mel, Strike, and Cotton with Talaria. I'll drop on that map once I clear some people. As it would be quite a few hours later. So, you guys, Talaria is shrouded with an old ranger's cloak, dark green, muddy, and kind of worn, definitely. She has promised her magical bracers, and amulet kind of situation, to you all as payment for breaking out her friend, more or less. She's rather impatient about this idea, but it is still quote unquote daytime. So I don't know how you guys want to approach it, but you also know the city is kind of a 24-hour city. Like, it is quieter during the night, but not necessarily like it's shut down.
Significantly.
Yeah. So what would the three of you like to do?
Well, Setch isn't here, so.
Yeah, our plan was Setch.
I vaguely remember the plan, but
Setch wanted to teleport into the prison and teleport out of the prison. And that was the plan, I think.
So we're just gonna break into the old-fashioned way?
okay. Well, I think he was planning on using Dimension Door.
Yes.
With a
Which would
spoon,
still require us getting like right outside the prison.
with a spoonful of invisibility.
The spoonful of invisibility, indeed.
Well, I don't think invisibility would help much, because if the person casts a spell, it disappears, right?
That's true.
But you can chalk it up to gods having
Well,
hallucinations.
you could use Dimension Door to get in, invisibility to find the person, and then Dimension Door to get out.
Yeah.
Well, weren't we planning to have him Dimension Door?
What was the last part? I'm sorry.
Weren't we planning for him to teleport directly into the cell?
Yeah. We were.
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to find out, what do we? What's your character's name? Not Jenny, but. No.
Yeah, I think Mel was gonna use her contacts, figure out what cell, figure out the exact location, and then just have Setch teleport directly there.
Yes. That was the plan.
Okay. Well, there's 3 ways we can handle this. Maybe 2. First way is we continue as planned and I play as Setch in a minimal, hey, he does things. Hey, you tell him what to do and he does things sense. I'm usually most uncomfortable with that situation because I don't like being responsible if a player character gets in a situation they didn't themselves create, and I'm forced to make a decision that might kill their player. Prison can be a big deal. Option 2 is we turn this into a skill challenge with you two kind of directing and narrating kind of what's going on, with a handful of skill checks, and the skill checks will determine without a combat happening whether or not Setch is successful or whether or not he gets captured, I guess, or something like that, if you still want to use him in that durée. Or option 3, you wait until he returns and you guys go find the rest of the party or choose some other thing to do.
Before Strike and Birdman use their patented distract the guards technique, and the others must sneak in.
No.
Birdman is not with you, so you'd have to find Birdman.
I am not there.
Birdman
you
is
where I am.
shadowing. Mel technically overheard their conversation, so Mel is technically aware they're at the 12th house. But beyond that knowledge, you guys don't really know much.
Well,
I want Strike to rack all the places I could be in the city.
Mel knows that Eros left. Well,
I have an
Mel could
idea.
probably intuit it, but I don't know.
Birdman was with you during that conversation.
Mel knows what now? Sorry.
When
Where we are.
your passive perception, I remember, was high enough for you to, with the door being open, when Eros stormed out and was talking with Birdman on the steps here, and Shallow Butter, her drow contact, came in outside and talked to them. You heard enough of that conversation, you and Setch both did, to be like, they're going to the 12th house. You don't know much beyond that, though, for like Eros and Birdman.
Okay.
So you know that Eros had an important meeting, that this was I roleplayed, the your little kids being all like surprised that there were, basically a squadron of drow hanging outside in the middle of the day. So you guys kind of drew attention from the bar and stuff. So nonetheless, you guys could use further information and whatnot. Your contact in the 9th house, your main contact in the 9th house, is the guy I have on the map here, just for ease of purposes. Mr. Shadow Blossom. Nonetheless, you could use other means to do this. How do you guys want to approach it?
Well, regarding the prison situation, I think if we don't do it today, I would know what to do in the session instead, because of the time. I guess time constraint. I feel like it would make sense to do something else before that. And I think the second option of the skill checks and narration would be fine with me, but I don't know if it would be fine with Setch.
Yeah, I think that option would be the best one.
And let's use my absence the last time and make an in-game thing out of it, where Strike was too distracted, just kind of making it up to the kids, where he was taking them to a blood festival, have as much fun as possible, and just no idea Prison was even planned.
Yeah, kind of returning around this time with the kids, a couple of the kids. Yeah, that's fine.
Strike has no idea what the fuck is going on. And neither do I.
Well,
We could do the skill check thing.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
you fail horribly, and Setch gets his head cut off.
The worst that will happen is Setch gets captured. If you still want to approach it in that way, like you can. I guess that's my question. Okay, if we want to lean towards a skill challenge, I guess there's different ways you can approach it. Like in my mind, is like you can lean into the investigative, intimidating kind of approach where you're using context to help Setch find the best place to port in and get this immigrant dwarf. Or it could be, you know, the different approach where you guys are 100% relying on context and the city itself to like use its laws and bribery or whatnot, intimidation to find a means to get this guy out of the situation as well. Or I don't know. Those are two things that come to mind.
I think I prefer the
I don't
first.
know. Yeah. I like our original plan to have the teleport.
Teleport. Okay.
Not in the mood to get into a legal battle.
All right. Let's say that you invite Shadow Blossom to meet with you all at the Herald's Tavern later in the afternoon to convince him of the important information he needs to get, which would involve him either asking or him going himself there to confirm information you're after. So it's probably, where did I leave the time at last? I did not put a time of day. There you go. So we'll just continue with the midday. All right, so midday, this well-dressed 5 o'clock shadow halfling man comes into the front door. He is a regular at the Herald's Tavern, you all know, and Greendar, the tavern keeper, greets him and gets his normal kind of drink situated that he always gets, and then he comes and he knows Mel from the previous engagements that you guys had, kind of getting you involved with the person of interest search. And he kind of gives you that coy smile, eyebrows slightly raised, like, ooh, you know, more dark business, kind of curiosity look on his face as he takes a seat. And his feet dangle a few feet off the ground, as this part of the tavern is usually for larger creatures than he is. And eventually Greendar buzzes, greets you all again, and then realizes the importance of the conversation and kind of sets the drink down and buzzes back. And he takes his, say it's like a wine of some sort. I probably picture him drinking. No soup, no. And what do you do?
Soup?
I think Mel would just, gesture for him to take a seat.
Thank you, thank you. I would have assumed your business with these was completed, as he gestures to Strike and the kids over there after the incident of Lady Altapar. But I assume you have something important you wish to discuss. Takes another sip.
Well, maybe just a couple things. Recently we've been in discussion about a very specific facility, which I believe you know something about. We've been looking at a person of interest within the prison.
I'm aware of no real interests into the prison as of yet. Curious, who do you think? He looks over to his right and kind of sees the shrouded figure over there, and I want. Is it related with the one over there that wishes not for me not to see her? Perhaps.
If you wish to take insight to that, that is of your own accord.
Huh. Well, um, the prisons, because of your last engagements, he points at Strike. And
We did one time with the delivery thing. Yeah.
yeah, there was complications. They have increased a awareness that they haven't had before, as well as paperwork, which is demanded of the 12th house. They seem like right curious in who gets brought into the prisons. As of now, there's just a few odds and ends, immigrants, drunkards, vagabonds, derelicts, the like, creating issues within town. I know no one of note that would draw such attention. I'm curious even more now. Kind of finishes a big gulp of it and sets his drink down. Has like a wine mustache before he wipes it off as he smiles at you.
Structure waste to Greener and says, "Hey, Greener, can we get some more drinks over here?"
Right. Well, what do you want? And coin? You kind of all the cheap shit's gone, so you can thank Birdman for that.
Give us the next best thing.
Okay. What do you want?
What you got?
Yes.
Works for me.
It's like Marsh's like, we got a little bit of everything.
Maybe if you started handing out menus at the tables, that would be a lot easier.
Fuck that.
See, that's your issue.
Yeah, you just talk here. All right, that'd be 5 silver. Brings out a bottle of some cheap booze.
Bring us another. Make that one good.
Okay, it'll buzz back and forth, and the halfling finishes his wine and then slides his glass over for a Strike to fill it up once he's done opening.
Hey, little guy here, have some more.
We don't need to worry about get into the prison covered. We're more looking at if we gave you a prisoner's name is there, would you be able to tell us their exact location within the prison?
Just cut to the chase. We need to get someone out of prison, yeah?
Okay. Well, names are difficult and not always trustworthy. Description may be a little better. Today I could make my way there and back within the hour to check. I do not know of any recent additions other than so-called names they have given. Just
We
a
can give you a full profile for the person. We're more exactly where they are.
roll me a persuasion, intimidation.
I'm really good at charisma.
Can I give her like support?
How do you assist with this? But yes, you can. But
Mm.
how?
How do I assist with this? I don't know. Maybe I just stroll over elegantly and take a sip of my drink, of my milk drink, obviously. And I kind of just say hi, and I don't know, what do I say? Need any help?
Are you offering your services as payment for this? Is that what you're saying, Cotton?
No, we will pay you.
Just say Cotton is pretty good at getting it.
Yes, yes. There are rumors of a shadow cat around the stage courts, presumably. Winks at Cotton. Roll, roll with advantage, I guess. Yeah. And roll again. See if you get higher than 14. Okay, that's a little better. Well, I would need to know if I'm not getting access to one of the City of Salt's most renowned thieves for my own personal gain. He smiles wickedly. What else would you be willing to offer? He seems very interested, and he's willing to do this. He just needs to know what's worth possibly getting arrested himself.
I guess I could steal something for him, but
Um,
I don't
it
know.
depends on what you're looking for. I would be happy to pay you gold in an amount we can negotiate, or if you provide money for something you would like completed.
Oh, well. Gold, although fun and useful, isn't as useful as you scratch my back, I scratch yours when it comes to information. I've heard the 10th house was interested in some information related to one of the sewer drainages. And Cotton, you as someone, and Strike as someone, you two as been who know of what I'm about to talk about loosely. See Talaria, she's still in her same square that she's in, like, map wise, but she like shifts a little bit at this discussion. They had something they were investigating related to the Severine that started the Blood Festival 4 days ago. I believe this was connected to Lady Eltapar's death, and our master is curious to get information of what caused the 12th house to engage in such a dramatic play as was the last few days. The search for this woman when she was probably already dead the whole time. That's my. So maybe if you go to the sewage system, climb down in the muck, see what's down there without being seen by the 12th house guards, maybe I can call this as payment. But as you discuss, I'm willing to go get the information, and when I return, you can give me your answer if you're willing to.
Sure.
Sounds like a good agreement to me.
Good. Finishes his other drink, wobbles a little bit on the chair as he stands, a little tipsy. I will see you within the hour. And he snaps and he disappears in front of you. And you just hear slight pitter patter of feet, and the door eventually opens, and he's gone.
I always found it interesting why people decided to turn invisible just before leaving on foot.
What's up with that? Doesn't really make sense.
And I should just, I don't know, being extra. Maybe if I could turn invisible at my will at like any point in time, maybe I would do it randomly as well.
You do it at any point. Doesn't it take up some of your magical energy? If you can do that, which you might use for later.
Maybe, but if I just like to be dramatic, maybe I would do it anyway.
I suppose that's the only real use for it.
Based upon what your short friend there said, Talaria comes over and speaks. I do think time is of the essence. Can you trust him?
I don't know him.
He has proven to be a very valuable ally. He hasn't done to lead me astray.
Well, good. I guess another hour of waiting is not worth too much effort. Comes and sits over here and keeps her hood up, but kind of sits more casually than she has been. And
Strike officer, drink.
Drink.
is there anything specific you guys would like to do during this hour of wait?
Probably discuss how the fuck we're gonna pull this off.
So this guy wants us to go into the sewer system. Are we going to do that, or are we going to screw him over? Mel, I assume you want to keep being on friendly terms with that man.
I would like to help him out, do as he says, so I can maintain a good working relationship with him.
I see. So then we will comply with his demand.
Wait, can I do an insight check to determine whether or not he can be trusted? At least by strike standards.
Sure.
He's very trustworthy.
No more than, any other average person of the city of Salt, which you know what that means. Take it with a grain of salt, right? Nonetheless, you guys, Talaria doesn't seem to be. It's outward enough to where even Mel's picking up on it, but it's not aggressive. It's kind of still just, hey Mel, I don't know you, so I don't. There's certain things that I'm just not comfortable to say. It's very obvious, but you guys are. I'll say with that insight check, Strike, you're reminded also of, but just rolling the check, I guess. Really, you're reminded of the discussion of the sewers with Talaria over a week ago in game, which was really like 8 sessions ago. um,
Oh,
but nonetheless, the yellow dot on the map here is that sewer that Talaria discussed was where she wanted to take you guys to attack, more or less. And you guys basically said, nope, we're not doing that. We're in enough shit right now. And she was like, okay, fuck. And she left the city to go find someone else to help her. And during that time, you guys are now picking up on that Lady Altipar led the God Butchers there. And that's probably where she died. So,
Lady Ultrafar died?
yes.
Yes.
Yes, the session you missed, they had a head given to Pio, the head of the 10th house, that looked like a Lady Altipar, very much. So everyone's just, the manhunt and everything was stopped because of that. So. Nonetheless, that's why I brought you to the main map here, is because you can remember that conversation. And Talaria obviously isn't just talking about it right now because Setch and Mel are like, who the fuck are these two? Like, you guys look really sketchy. Oh, I don't know. Your magic people, I don't know. She's not
We're
trusting.
creepy.
And like, Strike, you generally get the impression the conversation that happened last session, which I'll say you kind of eavesdropped on as you came in, maybe, was the conversation of payment for asking someone to save her friend was off-putting to Talaria. Like, she offered something because someone asked, but she's very just right now about the situation, that this is turning into the reason of why she hates the fucking city. Like, so,
Everything revolves around it.
yeah. All right. Well, you guys know that part of the city. It's the northwestern part of the Tailstones. Is under pretty much constant construction between the 12th and the 13th house. And probably because of the festival is cut off and barred off by this point, especially if it is under construction based upon what Talaria was discussing days ago, and then what may have happened down there with Lady Altipar. They probably sealed it off or something by this point. So it is something you can go investigate in the city. It would take you. It wouldn't take you very long to get there, but doing the investigation would take you longer than the hour. So it's probably not something to do right now.
Hmm. Well, I also want to talk to an old wizard.
Old wizard. What?
I don't know if he's old. That Altapa man. He was a wizard.
Yes, he's imprisoned in the 10th house now.
Yeah.
You can go talk to Aldebar if you want, sure.
No, I wanted to break into his
Oh, his
tower.
vault. Yes, the vault. You guys could do the vault. That would take you, I don't know how, it wouldn't take you very long to get there. You guys don't know how long it would take you to be down in there either, so I don't know. If you guys wanted to go do the vault, you guys could go do the vault.
It's like a what do I do? Do I rob him or do I help Talaria? But I think Cotton's gonna help Talaria with a heavy heart because she really wanted to break into that vault.
I mean, the wizard's dead, and his vault's not going anywhere. So
I mean, it is kind of going. People are going to break in,
what
but
do
not
they?
like
I mean, he's
people
not
can
dead.
hide to go there so they can like see what's down there.
I mean, he's not dead, but the populace is gonna think he is.
No, I think it was like the 12,000 something. They are hiring people to go into his vault to see what's in there because people haven't like come back. People are just simply disappearing. There's something mysterious going on there.
Oh shit. Hmm.
Over a dozen drow have died trying to go down to this basement.
I mean, that's not a bad thing, is it?
From your perspective, I can understand it. But it is creating concern in the city. So, nonetheless,
How
a lot of people don't know exactly what's down there, other than there are some traps initially, and then after that, people don't know because people aren't returning. So
We're giving choices. That's evil. Just there's a linear path, please.
well, eventually they're gonna just hire 11th House wizards to go down there and just implode it all if they're not able to get the use out of it. So that's my
But
brain.
either way, as a player, I'm conflicted. But strike would definitely help get it going over plundering an old vault.
Yes, it's true. So yeah, let's help Talara.
I mean, Delaria is not quite as stupid as the other one. So she probably knows what she's doing, what she's putting us up to, what's gonna happen, why we need that wolf. So that should be more important. So we gotta do that. So yeah, starting something with the prison break.
Okay, cool. If this was a video game, the Talaria quest would be starred in yellow as a main quest. The vault would be starred in blue as a side quest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Based upon that conversation. Okay. All right. Well then, let's jump to Birdman and Eros. Birdman, what do you want to do? Are you going to continue to wait for Eros, which you're already pretty distant from her? Are you going to close in to get closer to her? Or are you going to leave
No, I
and
think
go
Eros
find?
said I was good to do whatever I wanted to do, and that she would like get in touch with me if she needed me to come and help her. You know,
Literally, stay within a mile.
yeah, which I think this.
As long as you stay within the city, you're fine.
Yeah. So I imagine Eros, if Eros ever needs to get a hold of me, I will be at the Deadpool bar, like chilling.
Hell yeah.
I'm at the Deadpool bar, like playing cards or drinking or doing something dumb that Birdman is known to be doing in the Tailstones.
Playing solitaire at the bar.
Yeah. So I think I was here at Gothmarks. So I'm at Gothmarks, like, yelling, "Freedom Hill, we bitches!"
Okay. Okay. Um, the rest of the group would know that's a common hangout spot for Birdman, I imagine.
Yep.
So that
Beneath the
information
wall.
is at least there. Okay, Arrows. We will jump to you then for a few minutes.
I'm in a
You
hole.
are down in a hole. About 50 to 100 meters down below the city. Twists and turn tunnels that have been carved within the last couple centuries that have come to this newly created dwarf, not dwarf, drow. Too many D's. Drow sanctum, where you're going to be meeting with the matron mother of this drow contingent, at least. So is there anything you want to do in your room, quote unquote, by yourself, quote unquote, before you are met again by Nefertiri for this meeting?
I want to look for spiders.
You want to look for spiders?
Yes.
Okay. What's the spider's passive stealth? Okay. You find one in the room you're in, kind of between these this kind of trunk bed in that little pocket in that corner there, a grandiose web structure kind of bridges up to the top and bottom, and there's just this small little spider, black widow looking thing, but there's a a similar kind of purple glow in its eyes that you can only tell because your passive perception's ridiculous.
Yay.
What do you? It's just chilling there. And your passive perception would also, yes, would see as you're looking around simultaneously, crawling past your window is a giant spider that's just like in the tunnel out there. Kind of chitters past.
I want to press my face against the glass to try and see more of it. I know I can, but just as if I just keep pushing my face into the glass, I might be able to see more.
You get a decent idea of what it looks like.
That looks
And-
terrific. Are we playing grounded now?
It seems to be intent on something. Like the way it's moving with purpose. It's not really just wandering. So, you know that much.
Eros turns to the Black Widow and says,
Okay. Allow me to understand this as best as I possibly can. Do you like people?
she's just talking to a spider.
You're just.
I'll even roll animal handling too.
Do you like people? All right, you're just standing on the other side of the room, saying that to the spider. Okay. I imagine there's a little bit of movement from the spider as it resituates itself. That's all you notice is like a reaction from it.
Is it like on the bed?
It's like between the bed and the trunk there, like part of the web structure wraps around the banister of the bed and then up to the wall.
She'll get closer and will probably, she'll say,
I bet you're like a spy spider, a spinder, a spinder, spander. You got that glow. I bet you see. Other people see, don't they? They hear too. I bet they do.
That's the spider. You say that it kind of like lowers itself from a spindly thread and is near your face, more or less.
To anyone who's listening on the other side, how many holes do you think you could fill at once?
The spider just lands on your shoulder. And that's all that happens there. And then it's like crawling on your shoulder. How does Eros react?
Giddily. There's not an insect or an animal that she finds disturbing or creepy at all.
Okay. Confused spider.
She would even allow make pathways for it with her hands as well.
Just letting the spider crawl on you from hand to hand, basically.
Yeah.
And that's always the cutest thing with spiders.
What did I do with Nefertiri's token? Oh, damn it.
Into the void.
Into the void it must have went, indeed. Okay. Well, we'll say around this time the knock happens at the door and Nefertiri enters soon thereafter, not waiting for any, approval, just coming in. And pays a little mind to the purple glow that seems to come from your shoulder now, from the eyes that connected to hers from the spider, but just kind of shrugs and turns and says little and just kind of leads you out and to the spiral staircase. And I would like another animal handling check if you would like the spider to stay with you as you come to the stairs.
Sure, why not?
Because you're going pretty far from its home.
I will even throw on a psionic die. So that's a 15.
The spider stays on your shoulder as you go up. And there's some web and whatnot that Nefertiri asks you to kind of bow below, and she does very deferentially, and then she leads you up to the second floor. Bring your token over that way, and there's another mesh of very thick spider webs that are kind of peeled open for you immediately to your right as you kind of approach them, and from the top of the stairs kind of lowers down this
Uh-oh.
What?
I'm battling
here.
with the Balrog.
It fell. It's okay. It's still working. There's a kind of fart noise that happens
The fuck?
as this thing lowers down, and there's this weird tooting spider. You can see it has a similar purple glow in its eyes as it comes to you.
I didn't know spiders
Yeah.
eat beans.
And
This
Nefertiri does not respond to this. But you're led to a dining room, and you're asked to take your seat. And as you do, well, before you do, Nefertiri asks you, will you would you like to do a performance first or dinner first? I'm like,
That depends. I was rushed here after all, so I can do either
yeah.
or. I'm flexible like that.
Yes. Roll. Let me see. And she goes to this next kind of doorway here, and then kind of like parts this spider-like doorway parts a little bit, and she walks through, and as she parts through, you hear I don't want to roll with this. Okay, it's a bad number. It's a low number. You hear a woman's voice yell in a undercommon. A some situation, and then
during this moment, I'll cast the comprehend languages.
Okay. You probably hear the tail end of the first sentence. Leave is the last word you hear, and then there's glasses shattering and whatnot, and footsteps running, and then a male voice speaks to Nefertiri, whispered, not too loud, says to Nefertiri, your mother is in need of a distraction, I think, today. More than I can provide. And he walks away and disperses into another room. And this is all happening as, like, the webbing of that door slowly closes. I'm going to... Okay. Eros, what do you do as you wait?
I'm gonna kind of just place my hand on the table and just feeling the good old-fashioned wood and whatnot. And then I'll, with my telepathic link, I'll tell Birdman,
Hey, guess what I did? Birdman, 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 Birdman.
Wait, bitches, that's right. Wait, what?
Guess what I did?
I cannot do that.
I have a spider on my shoulder now.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know if it's a he or a she, but they have purple eyes. It's very cute.
Okay. Is this a normal conversation we're supposed to be having?
Define normal.
Touche, my friend. Anyway, so spider on your shoulder with purple eyes. That's cool.
I also saw a farting spider and a giant spider.
Okay. You know, all this talk of spiders are making me want to just go grab another beer.
Oh, also, I think the matron of the 12th house is like super pissed off right now. Maybe she's horny. Maybe she needs a release.
So are you gonna give her the release that she wants? Now I'm confused. You're confusing.
On that note, so
Yeah.
some people come in the room, and there's two drow, two female drow, come in the room. Not dressed in the armor their token shows, but in like night gown kind of things, and night dresses, like you say, not nightgown. And they take a seat very gingerly, giving a side eye to Eros. And within moments of them arriving at the door behind you that you came in, Eros, a drow guard comes in and forces this alligator-looking man to sit.
Like the computer room.
Oh, how the tables have turned. The turntables turned.
Okay. And then he says in Undercommon to these two, will you mind watching them, Master? As I get our other guests, and they kind of nod and chuckle at him a little bit for his kind of deferentialness, and he leaves out the right and comes. While he's gone, Nefertiri comes to the door that she left in. And she is kind of leads the way in and takes a seat off to the side, and following her in by everyone's reaction can only be the matron mother. And she takes a seat at the other head of the table. And she's having light conversation with her sister, asking about her day, and then talks about how she is excited for these events and whatnot that's going on, and hoping that her guests will enjoy it as well. And within those few moments, the drow guard returns from the door behind the matron mother and kind of forces can't remember what this a gnome, as best as you can tell, and a dwarf to sit next to them. These three are dressed in
I can't see them.
there's no light in here?
Well, there's light, just not where they are.
That's odd. Well, say there's a light at the table. There you go. Okay. So, but they have no armor on or anything like that. They are unarmed, of course. They are wearing like kind of off-white, tan-looking, simple peasant clothes, like something very made recently and made quickly. They're not well made. They look like they're barely like holding on to these three. Like honestly, they like the garments look like they're a ritualistic thing of some sort. You're not sure what it is about them that makes you think that. It's just they just all three of them are dressed the same. And you can't help but think of Roxana for some reason when you see these three. And they take their seats, and they're a couple lower servants of drow come in and start to disperse food and settle into those things. And as the eating begins, these two continue to just kind of talk amongst themselves about you and the prisoners, and and who you are, and making guesses about those things. And the Nefertiri and quote unquote her mother, the matron, are quietly just eating. The matron mother is, if she's not looking at you, Eros, she's looking at the three over here. She doesn't spend too much time concerned with her quote unquote children, you think, that are sitting on the other side. What do you want to do, Eros, during the dinner?
I
want to do. It's probably not gonna go well.
Yourself.
I want to kill myself. I want to do a religion check to think about, if they are truly dress for ritualistic purposes? Like, would it be like ritual sacrifice or some things along those lines of whatever. I don't think it'll work, but I want to try.
Okay.
15.
The gnomes are too big for her. Like, they made these all one size fits all, so to speak. They're cut from like some sort of pattern. You do notice the thread is a gold color, which is very off-putting to the simple kind of linen that is there. Gold is used in all sorts of iconography for religion as some sort of payment and or fuel, so to speak, for the gods to use between the material plane to communicate their wants, needs, and desires. So there is that kind of idea, I guess. You know very little about drow culture, I will say. So you do know elven culture a little bit. You probably were a little bit around wood elves and whatnot with Cerulean during your time with him. They treat gold in a very respectful, you only use it for ornate purposes to remember the gods and their connection. So there is that.
Eros, while
Like it's like the the three bears. It's like hers is too big, his fits just right, his is too small.
Eros. Yeah, Eros is gonna ask the alligator man,
Hey, you. You. Scaly guy. Big green.
What language are you speaking?
Probably common.
Just clarity of the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. His head slowly turns, his lizard-like tongue slinks out far longer than you expected to. It almost feels like he could touch you from where he's at with it, and gets a good sniff. His nostrils flare, and uh, he um in Sylvan says what? I think you know that word because it's a common word nonetheless. But
Well, she also
I
speaks
see also
Sylvan.
speak.
yeah, he understood the common. He just doesn't want to speak in common.
So then she repeats. So then she says in Sylvan,
How's your sex life?
His eyes narrow. His tongue slings out again, and he looks towards the matron mother, and then back to you. I do not think I will have one that exists long. You may be benefiting more than me.
Why not?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Well, I am past my usefulness. You still seem to be useful. You are dressed as you are. What is that, bronze or brass? Can't quite tell in the light.
Well, I think it was bronze. Yes, bronze. Or was it silver? Or gold? Or ruby? Jasmine? Emerald? No.
Nonetheless, you are still allowed to wear your colors. Wear that which belongs to you. he looks towards his left arm in a way that like he used to have something there, and you can almost see the way he holds his left arm, like it's like you come into a room almost and you see like a missing picture with like the outline of dust, like you almost feel that with the way his arm holds itself, like there's something that's supposed to be there.
Hmm.
And then you can see a couple like metal pin structures like that are like part of his, like embedded into his bone, like he had some sort of mechanical modifications that were taken from him.
Hmm. Well, you look to be in good health, so all's well that ends well.
He almost smiles at you, because he doesn't know what else to do, and he looks towards the matron mother as she's just eyeing this conversation with curiosity and lust almost.
Hey.
And pun intended, maybe. Okay. The dinner will continue relatively quietly. The dwarf eats heartily. The gnome and the squamata alligator man more or less refuse to eat. They take a couple bites, but they don't seem to have much of an appetite by any means. And the we'll jump back to them in a minute. The rest of you will say, Eros waiting time, talking with the spider, walking through the area is probably about the same amount of hour that you guys waited for Shadow Blossom to return. He returns with a hood up and takes it off as he takes his seat next to you all, and has a piece of paper that's been folded, um, that he holds in one hand, and he sets it on the table, and he puts his 5 fingers over the paper in like a sprawled pyramid almost, with like this ownership, and then like stares at you all with those upward eyebrows. So, what's the deal? Are you going in the sewers for me? Do you really want this map?
We've talked it over a bit, and I think the agreement is sound. I think it's a fair enough task to complete.
Hmm.
Good. As soon as you're able, is a preferred method for this. I think this. He dusts off his hands like he almost has blood on them from doing a dirty deed. And then he takes a opposing hand and slides the folded piece of paper over to you all, and he nods and says, "I will meet you in 2 days' time here."
Sure.
Nods.
Yeah, that sounds good.
He walks away, puts his hood back on before he leaves, and disappears into the crowd of people outside. And whoever takes the folded note has a marker on the court prisons that basically informs you that they're keeping him in one of the southernmost cells of the prisons, and so closer to the entrance. So good news at that. But they have brought in. The note talks about how normally there's only one or two. I don't know how to word this without like talking game mechanics terms, so I'll just use game mechanics terms. There's only one or two, like usually like CR 5+ in the prison at any time. Usually just one. they have like a couple more in there at this time because of what little information they've gotten from the guy that you guys are after. So, he's Shadow Blossom knows that this person's important and knows that the prisons are starting to figure out that this guy has something important about him. I don't know how to word it other than that. So he's very powerful. And they're starting to learn that maybe he's something they should be scared of or use or manipulate or whatever the city's going to do now that he's captured. So implying that they have interrogated, maybe tortured the guy a little bit to kind of get him to talk in the time that he's been there already. So Setch kind of nods at this and is like, well, as long as should be easy enough, as long as he can. I gotta read Dimension Door again. My only question is, do you have to walk through the door? Is that part of it?
What do you mean? It's not like an actual portal. It's
Okay.
just
It's just okay.
teleportation.
Okay. It's not like gate where you have to actually literally walk through it.
No, it's just a
Um,
straight up teleport.
Okay, it's because my brain was like the only thing I was struggling with is like, could he just like grab the guy's hand through the bars and then teleport him, or does he like have to be? They both have to be on the same side of the bars, and it's like,
He
okay.
just has to be in contact.
So
Yeah, just touch base. So if you can touch him, he can teleport.
okay,
It has to be the same. What is it? The same size as him too? The same size or smaller? So it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Medium or smaller, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, Setch has plenty of spell slots. I would like, I would like skill checks from Strike, Cotton, and Mel to represent their involvement of getting Setch there and helping him once he's teleported, getting the person out of the neighborhood, so to speak, without people noticing. So like you guys, this is a party check. So Setch is just using 3 spell slots basically right now to do this, where you guys need 2 of 3 successes versus a, I guess, their passive perception. Yeah. So
Question. A skill challenge means you can't use the same skill twice, no matter who uses it, right?
you guys can decide what skill you want to use, is also what I'm saying too, yeah. And then you can apply whatever bonuses you want there for those things. I'm going to, because I forgot the last little bit and things got a little sidetracked. Each of you will have an additional inspiration point to start with to assist with these things if you would like. I need to do some math. You guys, what your proficiency bonus now is 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So that means everyone should get a maximum of 4 or 5 inspiration points if we use the 5th. The next opportunity.
Well, you can have more. You can, as long as you use them, yeah. But technically, you could
Mhm.
have a lot more if you stack them up. You just got to use them immediately. But, nonetheless, yes. I need to see you guys. 5 times 4 is 12.
Can we use spells to assist with our rolls?
Yeah. However you want to do this, yeah. Like,
Solid.
yeah. Like basically, instead of skill check, maybe it's like each of you have like a scene, maybe that you guys want to like narrate of how this works to assist with this. Nonetheless, because like I imagine this is kind of a montage in my mind of how we're doing this, but 10. Okay. All right. So pass without a trace. Without trace, I should say.
I would like to use thaumaturgy to make doors and windows in the vicinity snap open and close to create a distraction.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to keep everyone hidden.
Okay. Okay. How does and then anything else you want to add to that? And then Cotton, what do you do at least?
Well,
Can I do a stealth check
oh yeah.
I could
combined?
also do a stealth check because she is.
Everyone gets plus 10.
Okay.
Okay.
My stealth is pretty bad, honestly. I have.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Plus
It's
11?
fine.
You got another plus 10 to that, so it's still
Yeah, you still got 25.
Yeah.
You potentially could have had, 41, yes, but
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Just using the thaumaturgy as mentioned to level windows and doors repeatedly to create a distraction. Whatever might be open.
Well, such can do invisibility once a day for free. Shadow sorcerer.
Oh yeah.
All right, and
That's-
okay, so poofs in, immediately casts invisibility on himself, and his passive stealth is a 17. He is a pretty decent stealth, so
Plus 10.
plus 10.
Plus 10.
Okay, so he literally there's this like he looks like he gets absorbed into these bars and whatnot as part of one of the empty prison cells down the hall from where this drow and this wolf man are throwing the dwarf back into his cell after some interrogation and speaking in common to each other to the dwarf about how tomorrow we'll break you and get the information. We have a mage that will come and be able to peer into your mind. And the dwarf just spits at and says something nasty in dwarvish at them. And the uh, drow kind of grabs the dwarf by his beard, pulls him in as the wolf kind of punches him in the face between the bars and kind of clangs against the things. And they eventually mutter and then walk off a little bit up down the hall, giving Setch a brief moment to pitter patter very quietly. No one, not even the dwarf, hears him. And uh mm, what's that's just roll a grapple check or would he communicate? He has good persuasion. Um okay. Mutters quietly to the guy about, I'm here to break you out. I know Talaria. And the guy's like, what? Do a couple little bit back and forth. And then Setch is just like, give me your hand. And the guy is 2 out of 3. Okay. 2 out of 4. Okay. He grabs the guy. He sets out his hand reluctantly. And then there's just a flash of magic. And they reappear down the street from the main entrance, and you use the windows and doors that are already distracting them, and a carriage kind of rolls by, and you guys are able to use all those distractions to dip down this alleyway and just start to run very, very quickly through to the west and then north, eventually going through nearby two Where you're closest by this point is Mel's apartment. So do you guys go to Mel's apartment? Where do you go?
Sure, let's destroy my house again.
Yeah.
That destroyed this time. By the way, I want to say Strike had prepared a house and would have in that way perfected his carpenter trust agency, if that's alright. Because he was kind of responsible for destroying it in the first place.
Yes. Okay. Well, your dwarf friend. Middle-aged dwarf. Very foreign haircut to what you guys are used to seeing. From the dwarves here, very short beard. And doesn't have any of his armor or whatnot on, of course, because there wasn't time to grab those things. So that will eventually need to be compensated for. But this guy is built, as my good friend Luke from my Sunday game says, like a brick shithouse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we love him.
This guy, like, Strike, this guy can compete with you in strength. You think you finally found someone that's like, wow, like this guy
I
is
want to challenge him to arm wrestling.
well, not while you're running, but but nonetheless, yes, he you guys get to Mel's house and he in common thank you. And Talaria comes um from behind you all, following you all through the city, and kind of bursts through the door and gives him a big hug and kisses him on his bald head and is just like, I thought you, why did you bring the, I told you, and kind of he just shrugs and is just like, I didn't expect the security to be this good. And I would like you all to roll a investigation, insight, or perception check about this guy.
Thank you for giving perception.
Not very insightful.
Not much.
He's a foreign dwarf. That's what no.
Good.
In real world terms, where does he come from? What country?
Cotton, you also, I think, would know that brief interaction there, and 9's enough. I'd say it's a 5 to know this. Talaria's relationship is much closer than he thinks it is. By that, he was very surprised she kissed him and hugged him. Like, this was very just, whoa, okay. Like, didn't think that was, like, appreciative, but, like, it took him off guard a little bit.
I see.
And Strike, what was your question?
What country is he from in real world terms? I know I'm being a dick with that question.
Scotland.
Perception check. The Animaesus lands deal with 3 kinds of dwarves. 2 of them are quote unquote mountain dwarves, I guess. One of them are where Clodden is from. The immigrants from the east, they have established the road that all of you have used to get to this city from the various places that you come from. They are common in the city, but not as common as other things. He's not one of those. Just by the way he's built and dressed, they also, it's not really the build, it's like how he carry his beard and everything. Like the dwarves from Clodden are very traditional beard, long beard, big braids, like, adorn them with jewels and things like that. Like this guy's very simple. It's not, and it's very short beard, which is odd to see, and especially bald. Bald isn't out of the ordinary, but shaved bald like this guy is kind of odd to see. From that part of the world, there's hill dwarves to the north that are heavy into trading with the Sylvan folk, including elves and centaurs and things like that, and then eventually with the city down here. They are kind of hunter-gatherer people. This guy looks like he's worn plate armor most of his life. It wouldn't be common with those kind of dwarves from there. Like they have metal, but it's not something that they adorn themselves with. It's more precious to make with weapons and things like that. So the only other dwarves that are very unheard of to see is the dwarves from the south. The rodent people, particularly the rabbit folk, the Lapids, have dealt with them for generations. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. They trade with them, go to war with them. It's kind of been back and forth over the while. It's been peaceful over the last decade or so with them. You can presume he's from there. They are mountain dwarves. They live in the mountain, but they are what's the word? Warrior is their way of life. Like there's not many farmers, traders, those kind of
War
ways of life.
clerics, barbarians, and fighters, basically.
Yeah. So, and they have a obsession. They have an obsession with the technology from Cloud and Row. Once they got those connections from their cousins, they have invested strongly in the guns and steam power and things that come from that part of the world. This guy doesn't seem to be adorned with them, but maybe that's what he had on him by your guesstimation of why he got captured, is he had something related to that was very relatively powerful. I don't know. And Insight 25. Do you have a specific question or just general ambiance? Jenny,
What'd you say, sorry?
do you have a specific question or just general ambiance?
General.
Okay. Other than what I already said before about the really low, like he seems a little off put by the hug and the kiss. He's infatuated with Talaria, and he's using her for a purpose. But he is infatuated with her. He's never met an elf like this before. You can get the impression he's very much following his heart more than his brain right now, but his brain is telling him to use that infatuation for some purpose. Why he is here is not the reason why Talaria wants him to be here. You generally get the impression he is waiting for the moment to break away and do what he's here for, which whatever that is like, fuck no. He had some weird artifact, so he probably needs that back. So you generally get the impression he's going to ask you guys probably relatively soon to help him get his stuff back. Because he's going to need that stuff for whatever he's here. And he's going to probably twist Talaria and her need for his strength. Like, she looks at him with that look of, here is my answer to my problems. Like, and you're generally getting the impression he's not here to necessarily be that answer. He's just like, oh, I found an easy way to do something.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he is probably wearing simple leathers and jerkins and stuff, and probably Talaria gets him some food she has in her bag, and he starts to eat gruffly and looks to you all with anticipation of questions or whatnot. And Talaria is, I never had a chance. This is Lord Halfstar. He is a sergeant in his people's army, or was a champion, he says, of their order, and he just nods and takes another big gruff bite and swallows. Nice to meet you. You can call me Drek if you want. I don't think you could pronounce my dwarven name.
What would be your dwarven name? Let's try that.
Just call me Drek.
I know one person that would be able to pronounce your dwarven name.
Yeah, just Drek is enough for now. Drek Halfstar. I am a sergeant in the High Army of the Dwarvian Nation. I was in a scouting mission, and we were waylaid by gnolls. Lost my way. Delaria was heading south, ran into each other. We saved each other on a few occasions over the last week, and she convinced me to help her people being ruined
No,
by darkness.
you mean those hyena people?
Yes. They
Ah,
have quite a presence to the south of the city. I'm surprised you don't see them in the... Kind of looks around you disgustingly a little bit. No offense, your city has a smell about it.
oh, it's a disgusting city. They would thrive here.
All cities have a smell about them.
Yeah.
This one in particular.
That's true. My homeland smells of burnt stone, sulfur, but dry, and wet all the same. Our land has been taken over by wayward druids. They've made the land overgrown and forced us into our mountains to where we can find no other respite. So, we search for other mountains not claimed. That's what we were doing here now, is searching for other homes away from these dark druid powers, but
Hold on. It's the first time I've heard of druids taking over some lands. Aren't they usually just confined to their own tribes?
that's what Talaria says. Her own people have druids, but the druids from my people far to the south, they are evil sorts. Some are crazed birds, venomous, frog-like people. Sooner take you in and rip off your skin. The high druids grow the jungles dense and thick to hide their dark deeds, I am sure.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Mel, you generally get the impression this guy's opinion of these druids is probably very warped. What he's saying about these druids is probably not 100% true.
Yeah, I figured. People be holding grudges and stuff.
I mean, dwarves do have books of grudges, so.
Well, yeah. Gotta hold on. That's why. Nonetheless, Solaria is like, will you be able to complete the investigation without the and he just kind of shakes his head. I assume if they were safe enough to save me, I could speak of what I brought here. I have a means, perhaps, of finally ending the beast that terrorizes the city. They took it from me out of fear, I presume nothing else. They are rare in and of themselves. Forged from the original star of the fallen. First, they called him in the ancient Animaesus tongue. His name, he says in Sylvan, Rays, I believe. Well, his star, the ancients crafted a handful of star killer weapons, so to speak. My people have had a few in our hordes for a while, and they gifted me one in order to protect myself in a land of unknown beasts and dangers.
Hold
There
on.
are rumors of these
fine.
Tarasks. My people believe they stomp everywhere and this way and that, and Talaria can speak truth that some do. Your people raising these beasts. Disgusting.
Let us rewind here. You say you have a way of eliminating the Tyrannos once and for all.
It's called a Volpal weapon. I have a Volpal axe, able to cut through anything. Any creature. Decapitated.
We
Done.
gotta check for that to know if I know this.
Where is this weapon?
I presume it's back in the prisons, waiting for their mage to arrive to identify. And then it will be lost to the city's grime and greed.
Unfortunate.
We need to get our hands on this before the city gets it.
Yeah.
More like the drow getting their hands on it. They seem most curious of all. Ilaria looks towards Gunn.
Chain you have on you. Wasn't that the payment?
Oh, yes. She takes it and starts to unhook it.
Wait, before you do that, we need to retrieve that axe, I think. Mel, do you know anyone that can make use of this chain except Talaria? Because if not, maybe she could keep it for until we retrieve the axe. If she's willing to help us. To boost her
I
ability.
mean, I see no problem with her keeping it for the time being, or us negotiating a different form of payment, but that does not mean that I don't know of anyone who could use it. I myself could probably use it, Setch as well.
I see. Well, I will demand my pay when the time comes, but for now let's just see if you can get that axe. Do you think, Setch, can you open a gateway again into the prison, or are you tired out for the day?
It might be best to wait until tomorrow anyway.
Yes. I don't know. Is it best? I mean, they will notice that he's gone, and who knows where the X will be by tomorrow. Of course, we could, well, wait, and then I could maybe try. I could try to see if I can find it on the black market in a few days, but I don't know.
We need to be very careful.
Yes, definitely. Do you think they've already noticed that he's gone?
I'm not sure.
Setch would probably say yes. Because the situation he was in, they were just down the hall. He had a few moments to get him in and out of there. He took opportunity with that. To your answer of your another question, he could sacrifice his ability to do a higher level spell to do the same situation again, but he would have to spend more time down there because by this point you would have to wait for Shadow Blossom if you wanted to wait for him to gain more information about where it's at. He would have to like search there, you know, like walk around a little bit longer, which is a higher chance of someone detecting him. But he could technically do it today, but that he couldn't do it again after that. He wouldn't have enough magical
No,
strength after that.
I don't think that's something we should decide for Setch.
The only, another option is someone sneaks in them themselves, I guess. If you wanted to. But other than that, you do generally get the impression the dwarf will be patient for a day or so, Master Halfstar, but he will probably, after that, begin his own search if he needs to. To your other idea of the black market, if they identify this item as what it is, and it is what he claims it is to be, it's probably not going to be sold. It's probably going to be taken by someone of a high order here, or the 12th house will use it as a means to bribe one of the other houses to their cause. Like, this item is a big deal in the order of this city. Like, someone could
No, hold on. If you got a wobble legs, I'll metagame the shit out of it to get my hands on that.
what?
If you got a wobble X, I'll metagame the shit out of it to get my hands on that.
In theory, someone could, I guess. In theory. I had my campaign, my Sunday campaign, last campaign we played, they got a Vorpal axe from killing this guy, and then they decided to throw it down the hole in the city, this hole that goes down into the darkness of nowhere. And
Here we are.
because the wizard, and I quote, he's like, I'm too stupid to hold that much power. And I don't want anyone else to hold that much power either.
Was it double crit?
Imagine being too stupid to hold power. I held one answer and was like, I need all of these. Nobody else should have these. I want them.
Gotta get them all.
I need the whole set.
Imagine being too stupid to hold that much power, but still being smart enough to know that no one should.
Nah. I was like, nah.
Well, and then
Wait.
the Dragon Rider campaign I did with Brandon, Greed, and Lust. Yeah, part of the campaign turned into a search of them, trying to find these 9 magical swords that gave the world the power of the Dragon Riders, like, basically. And then a big philosophical question of, do they remove that power from the world or not, now that they've collected all 9 of
And
them?
now at least 3 of us have artifact.
We did.
You did, but they gave themselves artifacts in the process. They basically sacrificed the power to, like, give them each, like, crazy weapons and armor and items that are just ridiculous. Some of them did, like, weird bond things. Like, one of them, like, literally made his personal dragon bond something that would never die. So he's literally going, as long as he doesn't get killed, he will exist for eternity.
And my weapon is like one thing that is like 2d8 radiant damage, then 3d6 of any choice elemental damage, and it can just solo it to Rusk in like one turn. It roads all high.
Ridiculous. He holds a literal lightning bolt in his hand.
Yeah, I
That
love
was
it.
gifted to him by the gods.
Speaking of theoretical thoughts, we were just talking about if they know if he's gone. How would that look if I were to suddenly, let's say, show up at work to do that thing that I was supposed to do for Cotton earlier? And what would happen if I just showed up at work and the prison is like in shambles? Because that was my next plan.
Well, you have an alibi.
It wasn't me.
Not the greatest alibi, because you technically were being sneaky, so not many people saw you. So, but you do technically have the alibi that you weren't there, so you could still use that to your advantage.
Just show up at the stage.
But I do, yeah, right. I imagine if he showed up right now, the stage courts would. We need to reprocess everyone.
Bro, it wasn't me though. Wasn't even here.
Kind of situation, but
I just just realized I still have errands to run. I still never got caught in those real estate plans.
Yes, the real estate. Time
So
to
I have
rob.
to go do that. So I go do that now. It suddenly
Okay.
clicks in my mind after a night of drinking. I just go, "Oh shit! I have errands to run. I gotta go."
It's at real estate.
So we'll just say I'm here.
Okay, you're looking for what exactly?
I have to get Altapar's like real estate, like all the list of all the properties he owns
Mm.
for Cotton. That is what she asked me to do this morning, and I did not do that because I've been following Eros and hearing about how Eros has spiders on her shoulder.
Now you're giving Seth more ideas.
There
Okay.
you go. That's what I'm
Yeah.
good at.
All right. Well,
You broke the golden rule. Don't give the DM any ideas.
Well, I'm bad at that. I
he
don't
is.
follow the rules here.
He is bad at that.
I don't follow the rules here. I literally got
Nonetheless,
drunk and lost my control key last night.
yes. You roll an investigation check to figure out location. You know of 13 places. You don't know where they're all located without further investigation. And your city thing does apply here.
Oh, it does apply here? Sick. Even though I'm not perfect.
You have advantage, I'll say.
I will take advantage. Let's roll it again. Hold on. Let's go.
You did the Dracolich Beholder Hydra was so much fun though.
Hey,
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that. That wasn't me.
That was not him.
That was not
him.
me. I suffered
No,
just
that
as
was
much-
my brother-in-law. You can thank my brother-in-law for that. so.
No, I suffered just as much as you did. I almost died, remember?
Saved. Dead.
Okay. You know of 5 Birdman. Of the 13 location. One is and I'm gonna mark this with the circle. Okay, so one is his tower near the 10th house. That's orange, but you know what I mean. One is he has access to the pagoda of the lords and ladies.
Oh my god, what?
And
How did he swing that deal?
he's good connections.
I'm a really good lawyer.
Okay, he has a general goods business near the front of the house, front of the city that he deals with. He has bought a significant area of land in the Sage's Row as well. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And he has a small storage facility near the 12th house district.
Oh, sick. Well, after I gain that information, I will go to where I think they're at, and I'm gonna guess that's the Herald's Tavern. So I will just arrive at some point.
Okay, go to Herald's Tavern. Greendar informs you that they had a strange woman here. They've been gone since then, after they hung out for an hour talking to a little halfling man. The halfling's description is someone you recognize. Shadow Blossom.
Now I have to figure out where they went.
Well, process of elimination.
Check everything. I check my apartment. They're not there.
So you know your apartment's closest, then Satch's apartment. They're not there, and then eventually you probably go to Mel's place and find them there.
I knock on the door of Mel's apartment.
I know where the
Knock,
ancient
knock,
artifact
knock.
is.
It's triangulated.
Excuse me?
I love it.
Knock on the door of Mel's
Excuse me.
apartment.
He solved the mystery. Okay, knock on the door, and Mel will hear a knock at the door of your apartment.
She'll just slide open the door,
What's up, sluts?
look you up and down, go, what?
What's up, sluts? I'll just stare at you.
Because no.
What do you want to come inside?
Sure. And then he walks inside.
Okay. She'll close the door behind you.
I'm sure I'll notice that Talaria's here, and in Greendar's voice, I'll say, they left with a strange woman. I don't know where they went, but they're somewhere.
Who did?
We.
What? He points at you. Yeah, it's like,
Oh.
Here, somehow.
Yeah, we are here somehow.
we are here somehow.
No magic.
Real estate. And then he hands Cotton I'm imagining like a manila folder or like some sort of like document that's like wrapped up or something. Here you go.
I can't thank you enough, my feathery friend.
Thank you enough, my feathery friend.
I'm just gonna cast message and I ask you, what did you figure out?
I found out that there's a lot of stuff going on. He has a lot of property in a lot of different places. Also, what is Talaria doing here? And why is there a weird dwarf? And why does he smell bad?
Kind of a long story. Talaria, she's kind of trying to hide, she's kind of sucks at that. The dwarf, we got him out of prison and shit. It's weird.
He like snaps like that's why the state courts are fucked up. God.
They're like reprocessing every prisoner,
They
like
are
asking
nasty.
questions, interviewing. No one knows anything. Like it's just like, and there's pictures of this guy that they're like having artists like draw, and then like mages are duplicating to like put posters around the city as you were leaving.
I imagine I have some sort of recorded conversation that's like, we have to process every person. What the fuck? We have to reprocess every prisoner. There's a prisoner missing. What the fuck?
You can thank Satch over there. He kind of did us
I
all.
cannot thank you enough, my feathery friend.
It has given you more paperwork over the next couple days.
It has given you more paperwork over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough.
Setch just kind of nods and bows a little bit. Hey, I do what I can.
Birdman does that thing from Friends where, like, you know what I'm talking about. They do like the under the chin thing. He's like, that's it.
I see an opportunity, the dwarf will say. In common. You all seem like a capable lot. There are now 7 of us. Perhaps we could take advantage of this chaos and get the axe from under their nose while they reprocess.
Let me just ask you this. Are there bad guys to slaughter?
Slaughter. Bad guy. It depends on your perspective right now. I think slaughtering might cause more issues at this point, but eventually, yes, I would like to use my axe to chop off a few heads.
Chop off a few heads. What is in this like apartment? I don't think I've ever been inside your apartment. Like when it wasn't, a war zone.
Which it's not now. It looks relatively nice right now.
Yeah, I'm just like looking around, being a crackhead, looking for an available place to sit.
Seth, do we get to add carpenter tools or no wood carving tools proficiency now? After helping Mel clear up her apartment and shit.
Well, that kind of, yeah, we'll say you were part of that, sure.
All right.
With everything else that's happened there. Okay. Mel, you might be muted.
I'm not.
Okay.
I just zoned out. Was there a question?
How does your apartment look? Like, is there a good, suitable place to sit? Do you have food?
Well, she has like a desk with a chair. There's not a whole lot of furniture around. I mean, it definitely looks very nice, but the furniture that's there, like the desk looks very used, but everything else looks almost ornamental. She has like a couch of some sort, but it's not very comfortable. It's very pretty, but not comfortable.
I am literally doing everything that you could possibly do when you see the worst house guest ever. I check all of your drawers. I try to break your horribly uncomfortable couch in. I do all kinds of terrible things. I tap on the windows to make sure, like, I check the breeze in the windows. I do everything.
Okay.
I'm a horrible house guest.
Birdman getting inspiration.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to
see food? I do everything.
Am I allowed to ask for like a perception or investigation or something?
Sure.
Yeah. You will. Your passive perception, you see this. After like the third thing he's done, you're probably like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
No. I mean from him to see how much I tell him.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm gonna. You know what? I have this brand new inspiration that I just got. So I'm gonna use it. Perfect. I find everything.
Wow. Holy
I check every single drawer. I break your couch in. I fucking.
You go down the hall to the other room.
I find your special secret room.
Yay.
Yeah.
Great.
Shit. Okay.
Without you
I'm
even noticing, it's just like, where the fuck did the bird go? This room is cool.
He's like a little puppy. You turn around and he's just not there anymore. Where did he go?
You take something. You take something out of my mouth, and I'm in a different. Oh shit! Yes. Wait. We have a chat for this.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. It's called Science and Secrets.
Oh, perfect. Let's go over there. Yeah.
Let's take Seth. This is fun.
If you want.
Okay, secrets. We'll be back.
Secrets.
And then we'll come back to Eros.
It's been a long time since secrets have been disclosed.
What are they doing over there?
Probably an orgy. It's always an orgy.
Yeah, true. It's always an orgy.
Always. The funny thing,
Already
no one gets to know what happens. You know, rewatch the recording and be like, what the fuck? Everyone's out of the dark. Or out of the...
Just break that little bastard.
God damn it. This is why you don't have puppies. They get into everything.
It's a little bit more difficult if your puppies are bird. Bad people things.
What awkward conversation should we make them walk back in on?
Maybe sex toys or something?
Sex cells. Wait, no. Horse sex cells. But not cells as in stem cells. Cells as in actual cells.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Because you know, people do that. People breed horses, so there's literally horse sex cells.
But there are people who fuck horses, so it kind of works in both ways.
Well, if there are horse people in this world, probably. I mean, centaurs exist, so they're half horse.
Cool.
Would a centaur fuck a full-on horse, though?
But can centaurs reproduce, though? So if a centaur reproduces with a human or with a horse, will it be a man or a tortor?
What if it's like a man with a horse head? What if it just somehow reverses? No. What if it's a centaur? What if a centaur fucks a horse, and then the result is a centaur, but they have a horse head.
So it would just be like BoJack Horseman.
Yes, BoJack Horseman, but a centaur.
Ah, that's great.
I mean, seems like, the perfect thing. I mean, or it could be like, a horse with a human head and human legs, but the torso and arms of a horse.
Let's see, what do you think?
Could a horse and a centaur even reproduce? I mean, like, physiologically, feel like maybe, but like, I don't think like the offspring.
I
I
mean,
think
if here's the thing: if a zebra and a horse could reproduce,
but like the child wouldn't come to no, not a child. The fucking embryo wouldn't even start.
we don't know
developing.
that because centaurs don't exist. So we could just say, yeah, it does, totally does.
And no.
We could canonize that horses and centaurs can fuck.
Do centaurs have human dongs or horse dongs?
We don't know. There's science that needs to be done.
Horses, like if a centaur had intercourse with a horse, it would be like a bestiality because like a horse isn't like a higher being, like it can't give consent.
Well, actually, with the sending spell or communicate animals, they could. We have ways to. There are ways to communicate with animals to get their consent. Okay, so it could be 100% possible for a centaur and a horse to have sex with each other fully consensually, no bestiality involved.
Centaur would have to be either a druid or a bard. For that to
I mean,
happen.
you just need to know the sending spell, then you can send the message to the horse and be like, yo, horse, do you want to fuck? And then the horse can give its consent.
What did I just go back?
What the fuck?
Yeah, they're talking about.
What?
Oh, now I know what it's like to come back from the secret chat and hear the banter. That shit is awesome.
So we can confirm there is a way for a centaur and a horse to fuck with consent.
Oh, of course I can, because they've got the same. They've got the same body language almost. They've got the same.
Almost.
Okay. Well, we're gonna jump to the drow.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Not
No.
a single word of this.
Not a single word.
Mental connection within a mile. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh, what?
So,
What is it? What?
you guys, I'll drop you guys in the room they're at. So
That's all Eros here. Oh my god.
let me move strike.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So you guys can.
Mel is just mean mugging.
No one knows about this connection.
I'm eating literal coffee beans out of my hand.
I swear if you took any of the other stuff.
Nope, just the coffee beans. You probably won't have any left over.
At the panty rate.
Something.
Okay, you guys are on the middle right part of the map.
Oh god.
Okay. So we return to meal. This dwarf, gnome, and squamata eating with the matron mother and her 3 children and Eros. It is a succulent meal of prime, like Tarrasque meat, like from the best cuts of the Tarrasque that have been aged, probably at least 50 years to perfection. It is. Think of the best steak you've ever had, and it's better. Like that's what this is. Like it's and the gnome is disgusted by this. The entire idea of everything that's here. The others just are kind of lost their appetite, and the matron mother has been staring at Eros and the 3 prisoners, quote unquote, the most during all this. You have a little spider on your shoulder that came with you. What does Eros want to do?
Eros will. I'm gonna. She looks at the dwarf and says in common,
Hey, dwarf, how's your sex life?
That is an interesting question to ask in this situation. I was under the impression I was going to be sacrificed. Is the sacrifice including carnal exploration as well? I'm confused.
You're unconfused, so you're not confused.
Yes. He just looks at you more confused.
Cool, awesome. I don't know. She then turns to the drow and says,
Hey, will carnal desires be a part of their ritualistic sacrifice?
That is an interesting idea. But no, the matron mother says. I do think we were more interested to see your prowess as a performer. If that if that is most engaging, then perhaps these three will live another day. And she smiles. It is no pressure upon you. I just choices are difficult to make, and I make them easier when I've been calmed by. And she just motions towards Eros. And she looks Eros up and down in a greedy way, like, she's definitely attracted to Eros.
Well, sure, but if I can ask one thing. My friend, Roxana, can she be let go? Please?
Oh, yes, she has proven to be not quite enough, but I must first, and she motions to Nefertiri, we must first see if you can outperform in order to gauge whether or not she is still needed. We have been having difficulty finding a bard of such note.
Why?
It is odd. Most bards in this city reach a plateau of engagement that you have begun to supersede. We're not sure as to the reason, but we do know that the songs you use, the music you use, the entertainment you use, latches on to an ancient power that enlivens even the darkest souls. So, we do have one more course, and then I'm curious to see what you have brought for us this evening. And everyone kind of looks at you in the room by this point, Eros.
Eris just kind of like looks up to the ceiling, scratches her tit, and then goes,
Huh. Ancient binding thing stuff. Sure, that makes sense. Ooh. By the way. Nope, I forgot. Whatever. Just forget I said anything.
They bring out the last course, which is cream of some sort with this like bacon like stuff on top that's been drizzled in a kind of chocolatey kind of sauce, and it's very good. And the everyone kind of talks about how tasty and whatnot it is, and the dwarf asks about its creation kind of thing, and it's from the third house. They've been selling the new product to them, and they've been experimenting with it, and they've had great success, and they wanted to share one of their favorite meals. And Eros, you generally are getting the impression this is like some of the baby Tarrasque meat is what is part of this bacon kind of stuff that's on top. And the others finish their meal, and Nefertiri gets the guard to kind of get the three that are bound individually to kind of go through the door before you all. And the matron mother rises, and nearly simultaneously her three children kind of take suit as well and rise, and she, with flowing robes, kind of goes through the door, and they follow her. And Nefertiri kind of goes to you to lead you in there to this relatively large kind of ballroom sort of situation, open atrium area. The guard leads the three ritualistic sort of prisoners to the room across the way, and there's another guard waiting, and they kind of situate the three and bring them past the threshold into this other room beyond. And Nefertiri kind of brings you a little bit in the room as you are there, and then kind of steps back, and they kind of stand provocatively and curiously, and in undercommon, but then in common thereafter, realizing that you didn't understand because you speak with whatever would have been gone by this point. But about your stage, just directing towards the room itself. And as everyone kind of comes out of the room, off to the back here, this male figure comes in the room, drow figure from another room off to the side, and you see a disturbed and disgusted, annoyed look from the matron mother at him as he comes in the room, but he just kind of leans against the wall to wait and watch for the performance here. So this is a skill challenge that involves okay, you need to get at least 4 successes to impress the matron mother. Two of those, you need to have at least one of the checks needs to be a performance check. You can do up to 6 checks to try to persuade her or whatnot. So performance, charisma checks, and insight checks to kind of gauge where you think she's at and how successful you're being so far. It is a static number that you're rolling against. That is her insight, the matron mother's insight. So that you have to beat. And how do you want to begin?
Well, Eros first walks over to Nefertari.
Pause 1 second. 1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second before you walk over. The rest of the group, you guys can help Eros with by gifting Eros inspiration points if you want during interactions like this, to kind of help her if she's not doing so well. That's all I want to remember. Remind the group about how inspiration works. You can give other people points to help them. So,
Let's see how this turns out.
nonetheless, Eros, I'm going to give you one more to start.
Yeah, okay. Eros will first walk over to Nefertari and will say,
Ooh, take my friend. I don't want him to get, like, confused. Or she. I don't know which it is.
It is a she.
I don't want her to get confused.
Nefertari holds out her hand gently, and the little spider comes in her hand. She like cups it and whispers to it in a language you don't understand as it kind of crawls up her face onto her ear and just hangs out on her ear.
then Eros will go to the center of the room, looking at the matron, and say,
First, since this is a private performance and not a public thing, I have to know what exactly it is you're looking for.
And everyone kind of looks to the matron mother, and she clears her throat. And, I've heard of your singing, which I appreciate to hear, but I am curious to your ability to dance. Honestly, as well as whatever else you would like to see. The performance must engage a certain caliber in order to appreciate even the most ancient of eyes. Be
Okay.
appreciated by the most ancient of eyes.
Okay. Fair enough.
and Eros is going to pull out her pull out her flute, and will begin playing that, and will start moving her body rhythmically in the way that with how she plays it. So it'll start off like a little bit slow to get into a more hypnotic trance type of play that will then pick up a little bit midway through until it kind of rolls off towards the end, getting into the more sexual motions of it. Twanta
He's hitting of 26.
She'll even get closer.
Muted.
Ha! Mutes.
It's obviously well received by those things. There's smiles and giggles and uncomfortable kind of motions as you kind of get closer to the matron mother, but she looks curious to none of the idea. Okay, you have one success. You're pretty sure.
Okay. Then
It's hard to. 26 is usually a success.
usually. And I'm going to insight to see how much farther the matron would want this to be pushed.
Okay. Versus her charisma. Okay. She you're getting the impression she's impressed, but she doesn't believe this isn't just the initial beginner's luck kind of thing. She needs to see that you have a vigor about you in a way that you're getting the impression she hasn't been 100% impressed yet. by this idea. But the 21 does give you another success towards your 4.
Then Eros is going to slide right in front of her, and with a bit of a, and is going to attempt, and this will be probably in acrobatics, like a slide into a spin, getting up close with a slight body roll until she
grapple her.
well, no. Until like a slight body roll until she like bends backwards into a handstand that she'll twist around while still upside down before reorienting herself back on her feet.
Okay. Acrobatics, yeah. It's like a tumble check. Okay. Okay. Like, you know, she's doing that double take kind of look, and like she steps forward, you end up kind of being behind her, and she just, oh, and you're behind her, and she kind of giggles and is like, can't see you, and you just appear, and the other two kind of clap giddily together, Nefertiri smiling.
And
You
then,
have 3 of your 4 successes you need.
and then for a bit of a coup de grace, I want to do a sleight of hand where I unhook the clasps on these 2 drows. Well, just they might have bras, they might not have bras, but if they do, I'm unhooking those bitches without them noticing.
Okay.
And I will inspire that.
I need 2 checks because it's 2 people.
Okay. So that's the first because I use inspiration. And the second, I will use another inspiration.
Oh, bros, really?
Okay, they have like night dresses on, like kind of sheer translucent things, and they simple straps that tie on the back, and you undo them both simultaneously, and there's that, like, they both are grabbing at their dresses before they like are basically naked, and Nefertiri guffaws, and the matron mother claps. This is the first time the matron mother has clapped. She like literally has just clapped, like full on up, 3 big claps with that. Okay. And she giggles, and she this man kind of skips over, and there's another exchange of glances between those two, the matron mother and him, and he it's like, I think we've found her, in like a hopeful, very hopeful tone. And the matron mother looks towards you, Eros, and is, perhaps we have. Indeed. She smiles. Not kind of a warm smile in a way. It's not like her greedy smile from the other room, Corda situation. And she, dress yourself. She kind of motions at her 2 children, and they kind of like stumble off into the other room and kind of like resituate their dresses. You heard them kind of loosely probably cussing you out in their language you don't understand. You can do one more check if you would like to kind of end this situation, or you can leave it at that.
Sure. Sure, yeah. Eros will give a bow and say, well, if I'm the bard you need, there's only one condition. I, of course, do require my own personal freedom, but if you need a performance from me, then for the right price, I'm always happy to do it.
Your freedom is yours upon your performance. After the next one that we need. You have proven already. Treat this as an audition, if you will. and she smiles at you. And what is your... Never mind, I'll just open your sheet. That's a better way to do that. She... Because you did all... what do you want to roll as a check for that?
It would just be a persuasion.
Okay. Which is...
21.
Oh, it's 21. Okay. All right. And I would like another insight check.
Bloody hell, mate.
Um,
Can I still give inspiration on the persuasion?
You can always give inspiration.
you can give inspiration whenever you want.
Yeah, reroll that shit.
I don't need to reroll anything. I always get a persuasions. I always get baseline, whatever my passive is.
Right now it should be 20, right? Because persuasion.
21.
21. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 21. Okay. You, the persuasion, she's hard to read, but nonetheless, you don't think you're that successful with the persuasion idea about
I can always
the connection of freedom.
throw in a psionic die. Because that's
You
how
can,
the thing
but-
works.
It's true. But I'm gonna
23.
23. Nonetheless, that gives you one more point. She has a loyalty to you, which is more like, instead of loyalty, it's like an expectation of you sort of situation. It's like a mechanical number that will go up and down. If it reaches 0, she's probably gonna kill you. You generally get the vibe from this woman. If you fucking her over, you're 29 insight. This matron mother, if you perform and do the thing well, yes, but you don't know about Roxana. You really don't know how this woman's going to react to this situation. You are being used for something important to the matron mother, and you are a button to open something as best as you understand. Like, she needs you and your performance to do something that no one else can do, for whatever reason. You also know with your insight, you have a loyalty of 8 out of your total charisma right now with her. And it goes up and down by D4s when appropriate narrative will go up. So if you reach 17 or whatever, high loyalty with those things, she will trust you implicitly, no matter what you do. You reach 0, this woman will probably kill you after she's done with you. So right now, you're not sure how she's going to treat Roxana. You do know you have some sway with her because you impressed her greatly. You get the impression that leaving here is only going to happen under watch. Like, you can, but you get the impression Shallow Butter will be with you. You're not going to be alone again until you perform this thing. And you're not sure when they're going to be ready for you to do that.
So what's just intending to strike and they come in and just like, easy peasy.
So, what do you do?
So then Eros will say,
Can I see my friend?
I will have her brought to your room before the night is over. if you wish to stay, she can stay in your room with you. However, until our arrangement is complete, I think she stays with me.
Okay, fine. I need to go see my friends, but I definitely need to talk to her for a little bit.
By all means, she will meet you in your room. And she kind of waves, and you get Nefertiri kind of motions for you to follow her to lead you back downstairs to your room. What do you have there? And okay. And another, you're waiting for a good 45 minutes, hour and 15 minutes plus before Roxana goes up.
During that time, Eros would talk to Birdman
And would say, "Come in, Birdman. Birdman, come in, Birdman."
Birdman is a go. I repeat, Birdman is a go.
Copy that.
Me, Eagle.
Okay. Performance, success. Matron
Performance success.
is definitely, kind of, sort of, pleased. At least in a way. They do expect me.
What is it? The negotiations seem to be going well.
Yes, they do. Apparently, this was more of an audition, less of a private performance. I mean, it was a private performance, but they want me to do another thing that I think is some type of, I don't know, ritual thing. They needed a bard, and a good one. And of course,
Oh, that should be fun.
yes. And of course, I'm the baddest bitch there is in this fucking city. So, naturally, I did what I do best. I don't know exactly what they want me to do, and it probably isn't a good thing, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
Hell yeah.
But, unfortunately, can't get Roxanne out just yet.
Told you. I fucking told you. I told you that this would happen. I told you that they weren't going to give her up for free.
Well, I didn't think they would, but I just need, as soon as if I do well enough, they probably will.
Okay, so when you say ritual, what kind of ritual are you talking about? Are you talking about are we killing people, or are you singing a song? What is the prerogative on it? I don't.
Well,
I'm not quite understanding.
She said, they needed a bard for some.
This is good. Hang on 1 second.
Uh-huh.
Mel's making coffee.
Oh,
I'm trying to mix some more beans. She wouldn't let me eat them.
that seems rude.
Eros, roll me a history check.
It's not rude. It's only rude if you didn't. I didn't ask her if I could eat them.
You have to ask to eat things?
No, that's precisely what I'm saying. I did not ask to eat them, and she won't let me eat them anymore. I don't understand. I found them, and oh wait, she's handing me coffee. Hold on. Okay, contented. Continue.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
it would just be the 14. My shit was lagging a little bit.
You remember Cerulean telling you in your early years as a bard, it's the belief of bards that their magic connects to the spirit of people in a way that other magic borrows or abuses. It's more natural in a way. Some people theorize that bardic arcane magic is one of the more pure forms of magic. Like an older essence, so to speak.
So, bard magic might be one of the purest forms of magic, and that's what they need because it like touches your spirit directly, kind of, sort of.
Okay, whatever, nerd.
Look, I don't fucking know. It's just something that, my dad told me about one time, and then they brought it up, and I'm like, oh, that kind of connects or whatever. I don't think about this shit.
Yeah.
You just do.
But look, we'll probably also have, like, a new friend. I am allowed to leave, but I think Shallow Butter is gonna be, like, accompanying me for a while.
What, like everywhere?
Probably. I don't
Can't
think she...
stand her.
Well, you only talked for, like, 2 minutes. She's
Doesn't
actually...
matter.
She's not that bad, I think. She's kind of nice.
Isn't she like an assassin?
Yes.
Who, like, I don't know, kills people?
Yes.
I feel like you have a very flawed perception of how the world works, my friend.
I'm sorry, who am I talking to?
Me, the man who steals coffee grains from a random person. Look, that's not important right now.
I like to imagine that Bowman is just gesticulating wildly this entire time. Like,
As he's
what
drinking
the
his
fuck
coffee,
are
the
you
rest of you
doing?
just see him.
Oh my god, she gave me beans. I'm the proudest man I've ever been. Look, listen, this is not important, okay? We don't talk about our values over coffee.
Then we
Okay,
shouldn't.
we talk about our values
giving him
over-
raw beans. It does nothing.
That does I feel like that'll get you hyped up even faster.
It does. If you eat espresso beans, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so hyper later.
Then we shouldn't be judging
Panic.
Shallow
Maybe
Butter.
headache.
Then we shouldn't be judging Shallow Butter over coffee then. We can judge her later.
Shallow Butter literally works for the Mafia. Wait, I literally work for the Mafia. Wait, who works for the Mafia?
Pretty much all of us work for the Mafia.
Look, that's not important either, okay? Sometimes we do things that are more important. Anyway,
Patch,
how
who's
are you
just
supposed-
been like made number 2 of the 10th house.
Exactly. Look, that's not the point, okay? How long are you supposed to be there for, and can you get Roxana out? And if you can't, can we break her out, or is that going to piss them off?
I mean, I wouldn't want to fight the face of the 12th house, let alone the actual head of the 12th house.
Roll me a medicine check.
Medicine check.
Okay. All of these people have 3 times more health than you that were in that room with you. Other than the slaves.
So you're gonna want my health, gotcha.
I mean, I have 75 HP, so 3 times that's a lot.
Still easy to kill.
Okay,
Yeah.
not all of them. Some of them it's only double. But some of them it is triple.
Like, I'm not sure breaking into here is the best of ideas unless you want to bring the full force of the other houses as well. Us?
No, I'd rather not.
Exactly. Us? We're not doing that shit. I can get Roxana out without anyone needing to get their blood spilled that isn't a slave.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, like I said, they might sacrifice some people. I don't know.
Alright.
There's only so many people I can care about at any given
There's
point
a
in time.
faint scream that echoes through the catacombs here. Pretty sure it might be that gnome.
I think a gnome just died.
Badger.
A gnome? You think a gnome just died?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what? That's actually not the most disturbing thing I found out today. Honestly, I'll let you know.
What would be the most disturbing thing?
I have been sworn to secrecy.
Sure. And why would you have been sworn to secrecy?
I have been sworn to secrecy.
And there's absolutely no way you would ever tell your bestest best friend in the whole bestest world.
Birdman looks up at Mel.
He's just standing in the corner of the room glaring at you.
Strike is also glaring, casting message. What the fuck are you on about here?
Hang on 1 second. Like
Nothing.
hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I have to pick up a different call.
Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Oh, fuck you.
Look, I didn't do anything. Okay, I did not do anything. This discussion is over. Strike. This discussion is over.
Okay, you guys realize that whenever someone casts a message, you have to, like, put a hand next to your mouth and, like, actively whisper. Nobody can hear anything, but, like, you're still clearly whispering.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Mel's just, like, glaring at the both of you.
Everything that's happening between me and Eros is happening strictly in my brain. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
But Birdman's an animated guy. I do imagine he's like moved his hands a little bit and looks like he's talking to himself.
Unless nice that Birdman is gesticulating or something, I would imagine he's doing just that. Strike is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Look,
Birdman, don't even tell the voices in your head what you found.
I've been sworn to secrecy, okay? I told you.
But, please.
But nothing. You'll have to take it up with the gods.
Okay, fine.
It's
I
crazy
am.
out here.
Okay, then I'll ask Mistra the next time that I talk to her.
I'm in danger. I'm fear for my life constantly.
Listen. Then the next time you fall asleep, I totally won't curl up next to you in your coffin and read your mind. I totally won't do that then.
I don't need to think about curling up in a coffin right now. I think that is the last thing I need to be doing.
It doesn't exist anymore. The coffin is buried.
I think I need to get a bed, actually.
You can share my bed.
I believe... I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, secrecy aside...
Buried a child.
Secrecy aside, I'm having a great time. Having a good time. I got some real estate stuff. I had some kebabs. I swindled everybody at Gothmarks, and they added another couple of check marks to my name, so that will probably not happen anytime soon. We'll see how that goes.
Meanwhile, Strike is still repairing some stuff in his home, and says to her, I'm sorry about all of that, and we had to catch out and stuff. I hope you understand.
It's fine.
I'm
Not
trying.
the first time this place has been destroyed.
Do you want to have the sofa to the left or to the right?
Too many people talking. What?
You want to have your sofa to the left or to the right?
It honestly doesn't matter. I never use it.
Why do you have it then? That doesn't make sense.
Or guests.
No reason.
Sometimes I meet clients here.
Okay, I suppose it makes sense. So let's put it to the left, closer to the chimney. Well, clients are gonna be a lot more comfortable then, so let's put it there.
Whatever you think.
Okay, wait, Bird, gotta go real quick. I think Roxana's walking in.
Wait, no, please don't leave me.
I'll be back.
Leave me alone.
Give me a minute.
Leave me alone. The secrecy is killing me.
Okay. Roxana comes in the room. She looks good, but she does look like she's been exercising for hours. Like she is in a simple dance attire. She doesn't have any of her adornments on and whatnot. She looks like she just ate. Like she has like the like, I don't know how you could, her tummy's a little out, I guess. I don't know. She's like and has wiping little food off. She's still chewing, and as she comes in the room, So she looks well fed and whatnot, and she doesn't look like she's been beaten. There's no marks or anything on her, and she kind of gives you this, like, somewhat surprised, but also like, you're gonna ruin this for me look almost at the same time. Like, she's not exactly happy that you're here. Is part of the impression you're getting from her initial stance, but she quickly softens and kind of comes over and gives you a big hug, and then pulls you back and is like, literally, you ask the question, "Why are you here?"
To do a job?
Oh, that's right. What day is it?
Oh.
I've been down in the dark for a while. I don't know. I haven't seen the sun in 2, 3 days.
Monday.
It's either the last of the month or the first of the month.
4 days. Well, is everything okay?
Well, yeah. The.
Did you find the lady? Is she dead? I assume because you're here.
Oh, yeah, she's dead. Dropped off her head to the courts.
Is Birdman okay?
He's fine. He's eating coffee beans.
What? Oh, okay. I guess that's okay for a bird to do.
Yeah, totally.
Shrugs. They are talking about you. You must have impressed the matron very much. They brought me here, as you, I assume, know by this point, because you weren't around. I don't know why you were. And I tried to do my best with the situation, but I cannot perform this routine they're asking me to perform. It is confusing, and there is a magic quality about it that I don't possess yet. So I think that's why they brought you in. I mentioned you were my mentor and you could speak with me magically from a great distance. They seemed quite earnest that that was important for whatever reason. I just thought it was odd. But now that you're here, maybe you can help me master this for them and
Why do you want to master it for them?
two reasons, I think. One, I can do something important that really matters, I think. Because I do think this matters, I just don't think most people know. And the other, most people deserve more. And she kind of looks around her, and then at that time you can see the little spider that was your friend from before crawls back in under and kind of goes back to its webbing near you, and she seems off put by the spider in the room, and I'm glad you're here, but I think you should leave me and let me do this. You can help. Here, I'll show you this, and then go. Just go, and she nods her head very vigorously, like she's made up her mind. Whether or not that's convinced you is up for you to decide. I will, I think, roll a persuasion check with her. She is only a level 2 bard, so she can't do cool stuff. But
My insight being 20. Passively.
she's trying to protect you. from something else that she seems to be aware of, but she doesn't want to tell you at all what it is. It's the general gist, of course. So she starts to show this like dance routine, and she like pushes in the chairs around the table here in really closely, and she explains how it's this circle that you have to like lay it out in, and it has to be. She's counting out, making sure it's 20 feet, and then once she has that kind of laid out, she like sets um, some utensils and little knickknacks and stuff from around the room to like lay out every foot so she can get her pacing correct, and then she starts to go through this ritualistic dance that's like goes in a circle around here, and she fumbles at these couple steps to the end that involve an invocation, and she thinks it is the sending spell is what she thinks it is. And so you are realizing though the issue that's happening here. She is nowhere near ready to learn something like this. She's a level 2 bard. She has to get 3 more levels somehow. Like this, she's nowhere near ready to like do a spell like this. So it's impossible for her to succeed. So her asking you to go will be probably her sacrificing herself.
I'm giving all my
Eros
instructions
is
to someone to do.
Eros is going to cast Detect Thoughts and is going to dig into her mind, and I'm going to use my unsettling words to -7 off of her roll.
This is wisdom save.
Yeah, pretty sure. Oh yeah, she fucks. She
gets a negative what?
Yeah, no. I'm getting exactly whatever it is she's trying to hide.
Okay, this dance happens in here. I need to switch to a map so I can describe it. This dance happens in a dark, cavernous room below where the drow are here. And in the center of this room is this ruby kind of lattice structure walk, quote unquote, dance floor that has this 20-foot circle drawn and paced between each foot with these like golden charms that are inlaid into the lattice structure on the ground. And you are seeing her dance slowly, quickly, all different forms. This performance being watched and judged by the drow, in particular, this one male drow that's very aggressive, and when she has failed a couple times, has blasted her with arcane energy and things like that, and she's had to rest for a day or so before she could perform again. There's also someone brought in to teach her, but he inevitably hasn't helped her as much as he claims he is. But Care Halls has been brought in to have like a different perspective on things. And they are dancing in front of this artifact. It is huge. Technically gargantuan by mechanic size.
Like the artifact?
This whatever artifact that has been mentioned, that you're pretty sure that's what this is.
Oh.
It is made of stone, mostly. Maybe some metal in there. It is quadrupedal in how it's laid out on this stone stair structure. It has quote unquote a mouth and whatnot, but has no eyes. It is spiked and shelled like an odd tortoise, sort of.
Carapace, he's gonna fucking rule.
Definitely what it reminds you of. And you are getting the impression that she has been informed by Carehalls in his desperation to get her to succeed, and he kind of manipulated, but then misstepped. He kind of informed her that um, if he doesn't succeed at this and be used as the catalyst, they'll use him as the catalyst. And the way he impresses that word, um, you're pretty sure when you're done with this performance, it's very unlikely you'll survive unless you're a strong enough caster to kind of withstand kind of the magic that comes from this ritual to quote unquote activate this artifact. Um, this artifact is ominous and looks like something that is designed to kill large things. This turtle thing, it's really weird. I want to wait to reveal its image to you until you have like a full view of it later on. But nonetheless, she has seen this thing for hours in the last few days, dancing in front of it, because she knows and believes by the manipulation of the matron mother and what she's talked about. You're pretty sure manipulation is the right word based upon what you're seeing here. Is the matron mother has convinced her that she is going to save the city by doing this, as well. That her sacrifice will be needed, and if not, will sacrifice Eros or someone else to save the city. Which is, I don't know, you get the impression Roxana's been manipulated with magic. And as you can see from her wisdom roll, wisdom is not her strongest stat.
No. So Eros is going to as this words as the detect thoughts goes towards Eros will also pass it along the mental link to Birdman so that he's aware of the situation that Roxana's been going through. So Birdman, you know all of this as well.
Okay.
And
Looking over Mel's shoulder at her desk. When Mel looks over, I am next to her.
and then
Yeah.
Jesus, Birdman.
and then Eros is going to grab Roxana and pull her in real close to where their bodies are touching and they're pretty much face to face. And Eros will say,
Quit being a fucking idiot. You want to know why I let you have sex with me? It's only because I didn't care. But I felt like showing you something.
Those of us who are in the room at Mel's apartment here. y'all hear an audible. Oh shit! He like looks over. Ooh.
If you were just some random bitch on the street, I wouldn't even consider it. But I did it anyway. Just for the hell of it. And then, I let you train under me. That doesn't mean that I'm going to let you get yourself killed for me.
It's not just for you.
Oh, bullshit.
and then I'm going to establish a telepathic link with her for the next 2 hours. And I'll say directly into her head,
We're dealing with drow here. They're not the nicest of people. They're fucking you over, manipulating you. And not for a good reason either.
She's trying to help the city stop the sludge and this horrid place of death. Like, why is that a bad thing?
Because you can't see beyond what she's actually
She's
saying.
still speaking aloud, not fully understanding like what's going on.
You don't really know what's happening. Allow me to enlighten you. I discovered something. Altapar, the guy who was chasing me down, he was actually doing a little bit of side hustle with some drow, specifically drow outside the city. Those drow wanted that very artifact that you've been dancing around. And not for good reasons either.
You her face winces, and you at the same time sense from the psychic connection that you've now established, now that it's more clear other than just detect thoughts, a more stream of conscious kind of thing, as much as it allows. Her memory is spotty. You believe they've used magic to manipulate certain things as well. And there's one haunting image that kind of has repeated throughout the last couple days of something she thought was a nightmare, but was perhaps more of a she remembers the gnome woman that you saw alive with a lynxen catfolk cleric person, and that person was, as part of her initial performances, was put in the center circle of her performance, and she vaguely remembers her performance sacrificing this lynxen to like initially awaken the artifact. Like, was part of the initial steps that have made it what it is now. And the drow are generally getting the impression that they just need to feed it enough and it'll wake up, is what they think is happening.
Listen, you will not be strong enough to do it. In the first place.
That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true. No, I can do it.
Do I have to punch you right in the gut? Because I will.
She looks how serious you are and is like, it's better me than you.
No. Because if I do it, I live. You do it, you die.
Yeah, but then you'll be their prisoner.
Trust me. I get out of tight situations all the time.
Well, that's why you should go now. Go get your friends. The strike could kill so many of these drow. Get out of here. Or come back here and rip them apart.
Affirmative.
Roxana, if you can't trust me to do what I do best, then I will no longer train you, and I will leave you here to die.
So what's the plan?
The plan is, when next they need another performance, I will be doing it. You will wait here and do nothing.
Do your friends know you're here?
One of them does.
Are they coming?
Nope.
No.
No.
Here's what
She
you
looks.
you need to understand this. You make stupid plans over and over again, especially knowing that, you know, Capital Ventures is here as well. You should know that he's a fucking moron and that he was using you. And that I actually
It took me
try.
until now to realize who you were talking about. It's like Capital Ventures. What?
Bloody hell, mate.
Oh, God.
And I will actually think things through. I might do stupid shit. But when it comes to my friends, I do like to plan. You don't plan. Because if you kept your mouth closed, you wouldn't be here in the first place.
Yeah, but they were threatening to take us all to jail. Someone had to go.
They could threaten all they want, but they were fucking with the 13th house.
I didn't think Rexani wanted to get involved, and you've already talked to Rexani. He kind of let it happen.
One sacrifice.
He's scared of the 12th house. Like he's honest to God scared of the 12th house. And by this point, you're sort of a more powerful bard than he is.
What of?
Not going to start a war. Congratulations on at least being brave enough to sacrifice yourself. But that's where your sacrifice ends. Here. So,
She nods at that gravely, but nods and looks up and kind of sits down on the bed over there and is looking up at you, just like desperate, and then shakes her head again. Is like, "Fine, I will stay."
good.
Stay. Okay.
And Eros will give her a kiss on the forehead before opening the door out into the hall and say,
Hello? Kinda need an escort. Oh, you're right there. I'm done now.
Okay. We will bring Lady Roxana back to her chambers. And then you may leave if you want. I will inform Shadowbutter if that's the case.
Yes, do that. Birdman, I'm on the way. The butter is in the pan. I repeat,
You're on the
the
way.
butter is in the pan.
The butter is in the pan. Affirmative, Eagle. The butter is in the pan. I will be cooking the steak as we speak. I am cooking the steak. Repeat over.
All right. I think that's the name of today's episode. The butter is in the pan.
Killing Shadowbutter or not?
The butter is in the pan. I repeat, I am placing the steak for the sear as we
Okay, so we're killing Shadowbutter. It's all I need to know.
I don't know. Okay, so Eros will meet Shadowbutter at the front entrance. And what's the plan, I guess? Eros. Where are you going?
Birdman, where the fuck are you?
am currently at Mel's apartment, looking at what she's doing and pretending to not know where the fuck you are.
Cool, I'll be over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I will pretend like I did not know you were coming and that you knew where we were the entire time.
Can I make an insight check?
you gotta beat a 30.
I have not told anybody that I have a mental link with Eros at all. It was not established at the
That's very
beginning
true.
of the day.
No, I don't know if he's
But once you tell him that he'd not know, that's one thing. Okay, so you're heading back to Mel's apartment. So I'm gonna go to the city.
I at least know something's going on.
You know that Tom fuckery is going on. You know that much. Okay, so
I stare him down until he spits the beats.
He just
I do not say anything. I don't spill any beans. I eat them.
Eros comes. It's probably about 45 minutes after your conversation with Roxana, traveling through tunnels and whatnot. You could roll me a perception check
Persuasion.
to maybe help you remember backtracking kind of situation.
Aha!
Okay.
Nice.
To get back down there. So you have a pretty good idea of how, and Birdman can help with, up to Lord Spencer's room, which is kind of that first place that you'd have to get by.
If
It's-
it is through one of Stark's tunnels, she'd have advantage anyway, because he would have told her how to get away.
No, it's definitely their own tunnels.
It's their own tunnels. Your tunnels are big, but they don't encompass. Most of them eventually join previous tunnels that have been here for centuries from the tortoise people.
That's fine.
So, okay, so Eros, we finally have the party back together.
Awesome.
Eros is gonna
So
go up
Eros
to the window.
knocks out the door.
Nah, she
or
goes
the
up to the
window.
window and like presses her face on it, yelling through it. Hi guys, can someone open the door, please?
Jesus fuck.
That's too damn cute.
Or open the window. I don't care.
Strike opens the fucking window.
Eros. No, coming through the door.
If Strike opens the window, she goes through the window.
Eros.
Roll.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. We'll go through it. He
Causing
goes through the
Mel
window.
emotional damage.
Now I'll take 2d12 psychic damage.
You should take a lot of psychic damage.
Mel just sits at her desk, puts a hand over her face.
I'm
Okay.
still standing next to you at your desk, by the way.
I
Strike
would.
you and
She's
say,
put her papers away.
I probably propped the chair up by now. Like I'm so content sitting at the desk. Like yeah, we're best friends. I know. We're best friends.
Talaria would run over and give Eros a big hug.
she's still
And-
fucking there?
Yeah. Where are they gonna go?
I don't know, probably being stupid again.
They're gonna stay here because it seems more safe to stay at Belle's apartment right now than anywhere else.
The really stupid one was that the odds. Okay, you've got a point.
I have to go to bed. But
Okay.
Weak, but sleep well.
Do you have a recommendation for anyone, Cotton?
Batman.
Hell yeah.
And do you have any inspiration left over?
I actually don't know. Because I lost my note.
Well, I gave people 2 I know of this session.
Should have
I
one.
didn't. I had like one inspiration, but like I mean like from last session.
They do
I-
not carry over.
I think
Okay.
everyone got 2.
We'll start. Yeah, everybody got one. I think.
Everyone gets one at the start of each session, and I
Yeah.
think everybody got 1 in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means
Well, thank you for playing. Sleep well.
Thank you.
Sleep tight, child.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Ah.
Okay,
Also,
okay.
We were all together, but I have to go.
we're back.
For sure. It's late. No worries. We were gonna probably wrap up shortly here.
Yeah, I'm 3 sheets to the wind myself, but I'm gonna see it.
Um, I figured you all were going to discuss your next steps together. Now that you all have different information and butter and dwarves and elves that are following you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All we know so far is that Mel offered us coffee and Bourbon looked like a fucking crazy man.
Yep, I look
And I
great.
know something is going on, but I don't know what is going on.
Also, Mel was really upset for no reason.
So
No reason.
For no reason.
No reason
Can
at
I
all.
try
No reason.
comfort Mel? And Mel, can you give me a DC for comforting?
For what?
For comforting, I guess.
She doesn't want comfort. There's no comfort. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's all fine.
Fine, that's
When
over.
you-
Nothing is fine.
When you wake up in the morning and you're just irked like by one thing, and it's like my entire day is ruined, and it's just gonna be ruined for the whole day.
Yeah, like, you ever have those dreams where you wake up and you're like, I choose violence today.
Fucking choose violence.
I don't dream.
It wasn't a dream, but it was real. Just-
You, on the same note, do you ever have those moments where you, when Clovercroft you is just being a fucking choleric asshole, and you're like, you insult him in some way, and you're completely misplaced proud of him, proud of yourself for insulting that guy.
Mm.
Like I called it Coca in Overstead's Garden Gnome, and I was so proud of that, and it was fun.
What? Eros is going to, looking at Birdman, say out loud, "Hey, you still got one of those beans?"
He like nods his head and like offers you a whole handful of coffee beans. Like, hey.
Mal gets the strange contortion of her face.
Rolling an insight check. I don't think I know anything.
I'll just take one bean. And she'll
How did you know?
I made coffee if anybody wants some.
magic.
Birdman?
He says in Mel's voice.
No, fuck you! I cast message. What do you mean? If anybody want, if there's beans or whatever.
I meant exactly what I said.
Birdman?
Yeah. Yes. Looks at you.
How did Eros know?
Yeah, the message was directed.
How did Eros know? He looks over at Eros like, I don't know. How did Eros know?
Magic.
Magic. He looks back over.
If Eros knows that, what else does Eros know?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I know that
I'm pretty fucking sure I
Stop
told
fucking
Birdman
around.
not to tell anyone.
Nothing.
I know he has this one feather that is like really mangy, but it doesn't come out for some reason. It's really stuck in his skin.
I like pointing at where it's at. It's like in my side, like by my rib cage, like the bottom of my rib cage on the back. I just point at it.
Al takes a big swig of some sort of flask.
Birdman holds his hand out like, please.
She'll hand you the flask, but it ain't alcohol.
Oh, I drink it anyway.
Is it blood?
Is it blood?
Could be.
Is it what I think it is?
It's what you think it is.
Holy shit. I drink it and I'm like, you see his eyes widen like, oh my god. Because nobody knows what it is except for me, like, oh shit.
Then I cast message to Bourbon and ask, what is in the flask?
Alcohol?
Are you
Alcohol.
sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
You-
I'm
you
sure.
You like alcohol.
I'm
would-
pretty fucking, and he says out loud, I'm pretty fucking sure I told Birdman not to say anything.
So,
Yeah.
Talaria. I don't know who that person is, but Talaria, I would recommend staying away from the windows. Well, just stay away from this window, and don't leave the house.
Yeah.
Great. My house is now a safe house.
I
Don't
mean,
go anywhere.
well, don't leave the
You're
house.
kind of being hunted and shit. So
Don't leave the
Don't
house
fucking move.
until I've left the area. Just that all.
Okay. I don't. We were waiting for you all to help us figure out how we can get my friend Drex here. She motions Drek. This is Eros. Drek. The dwarf just kind of nods as he. That's all he really does. To you.
Wait. Is that the dwarf? Draco's Painmonger?
What?
Drek is a dwarf, man.
Draka dwarf.
Nice.
His axe was stolen when he was captured. They helped rescue him. Thank you, Setch. Nonetheless,
Oh yeah,
We were-
such as- oh.
we were hoping to get this axe back in
What's
will
so
help
special
us.
about this axe?
It can cut through anything pretty much.
Even sexual
We were-
tension?
She just smirks and doesn't know what to say. No, I don't think it's exactly for that, but it might be. You could kill your lover if there's that much tension. Eros, you always make it awkward. I love and hate it. But Drek, the dwarf, just kind of giggles. Well, so where's your little pretty friend been? You seem like you have something important you would like to add.
Something important you would like to add?
Important?
Huh? You talking to me?
Where have you been? They said you went to the drow. Yes, the 12th house.
Oh yeah, I had a little bit of a private concert going on down there for them. Got some other things I need to do. Which also, again, don't leave until I leave. Because I have the drow following me. So, don't do that.
Did they, what was the concert for? Did they have anything special to show you?
Technically no. More like an audition. Oh, guys, by the way, remember that artifact that, the drow from outside the city were looking for?
Yes.
Well, you already know.
At that point, Strike would check his coffee. Subtly pointed Birdman with his pinky finger and asked, via message, does that have anything to do with your crazy behavior?
What are you talking about? My crazy behavior? I have no crazy behavior. I'm a normal human being. I'm a very normal person all the time. 100% of the time.
Oh. Does it have anything to do with it, yes or no?
With what?
You're crazy. You know.
I love the whispers in the middle of the conversations from
What?
Strike.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
You're
Well,
doing it right now. And
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not being crazy. You're crazy.
the artifact happens
I'm
to be
crazy,
under.
but- Yeah, but you're nervous.
I'm not. I'm never nervous. I'm not nervous at all. Look, I'm not nervous.
Okay.
I look
Okay.
good now.
Forget about it, Brian. Let's forget.
The drow just so happened to have the artifact that I wanted to go search for in the Testadine tunnels.
The Old Testament tunnels, which have been long abandoned. Yes?
Yes.
I know just how to get there, so let's go there right now.
I mean, there's no point. The drow have it.
So let's go to the drow and kill him.
That would be a
Conversation.
fucking stupid idea.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Unless you can
Fuck them,
somehow
right?
Kill them all.
unless you can somehow convince one of the other houses to rally up a crusade against them. That would be a really fucking dumb idea.
Don't need a crusade, we just need me for that.
No, you would die. Guaranteed.
I'm certain?
I am 100% certain.
Yeah, that's rare. I mean, me not being able to kill a lot of things, but if you say so, then I'm gonna.
Even the face of the 12th house is actually a dangerous threat himself.
So, what do we do? Do we just do anything else entirely, or get this oh so important axe of this little dwarf guy back?
Well, you could go get that axe. That's a thing you can do. But I don't know exactly when they want me back, so could be tomorrow, could be a few days. No idea.
Is there a chance you could keep us in the back somewhere, just in case, or are we monitored?
Oh, trust me, I know the perfect way to deal with that. And with with my last 3 psionic dice for the day, and I'll just roll. Oh wow, 1 hour. What hour? That's funny. To Mel, Strike, and Talaria, all 3 hear in their head at the exact same time. I have the perfect way for us to all stay in contact with each other.
I cast a message and ask, how would that be?
You don't need to cast message. You can hear this in your head already.
Oh, fancy.
Now with this, we can all talk to each other. And since you're linked to me, you can even talk to Birdman.
Who crazy? Oh, motherfucker!
Shut up, Brian.
You can't read
what's
our
going on?
minds with this, can you?
Only if you want me to.
No.
I don't give a fuck. What's going on?
What's going on is, I'm the perfect infiltrator. I don't need to say a thing to any of you out loud, but whenever we get this plan going, whatever our plan is, we'll be able to stay in contact the whole time. Maybe. It's a little random.
Okay, so what do I roll to determine whether Strike now is a control could know the telepathic thing is going on?
I
You
mean,
hear it in your head.
Yeah, but the draw couldn't know it, right?
What do you mean?
They could establish the telepathic thing without anyone knowing, I would assume.
Would the drow be able to pick up on it? I think he's trying to say.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much.
Not without divine magic, from what Eros has seen. Like they would need some sort of like clairvoyance or detect thoughts themselves or something.
And I can't be divined against, so.
So, there's that.
We all would know Eros could not be fucked with mentally. I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
In that case, then never mind.
Okay. So you establish the mental connection with the 4 of them. And my question as a DM is, what's your plan for next session? Since it's kind of at that end point where it's like, what is the main idea of the conversation here? What are you guys moving towards doing next time? So I know kind of where to direct. Although with what I posted last during the week, I am taking a break, so this is like after the first of the year, but nonetheless.
So, for Eros, she would definitely mention whatever we plan to do. I can't really. I kind of exhausted. I need to wait till tomorrow. I need a bit of a. I need to sleep. Myself, personally.
Well, you are all welcome to stay here. I don't really have any extra beds or blankets or anything, but I have a couple couches, a couple extra pillows. I maybe have a comforter or two.
Couch is extremely uncomfortable. I wouldn't recommend it.
Are you sure? Because, like I said, I have drow following me, so. Unless you're fine with them staying outside of your house all night.
People are constantly watching everyone. It's just a fact.
Are you sure you don't just want me to kill them all?
Yeah, I'm sure I don't want you to just kill them all.
Trying to maintain a good relationship with them, aren't you?
Essentially, yes.
So killing them would not be in the interest of that strike.
Hey, I despise the drows. Just by otherwise ill-feel, of course, but still.
Besides, it's not like I can't slip away from them at any time I want.
That wouldn't be in the interest of the relationship, though.
Nope. But I am under no threat at all, so no need to get violent.
Coffee, if anybody wants some. Or now walks over and pours himself some coffee.
Give me that damn bean.
This shit is so fucking weird.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, well, I've never drank coffee before.
Punches the coffee beans and proceeds to clamber on Mel's walls and ceiling.
I love coffee. Would anyone like cream or sugar, by the way? You have just been drinking it black.
I can see why you love
Just
coffee
coffee.
so much. Birdman, you hear in your head
Man.
why you love coffee so much. It must keep you up for ages.
Birdman.
His name is Brian.
It was just an observation.
Well, I have a very consuming job.
Yes, you also have a very expensive taste.
Is there just a whole cacophony going on in Eros' head right now?
No.
I mean, it's about the same as a normal conversation, just in her head.
Oh, lordy.
If everyone is talking through the link.
Oh no, none of you. Oh no, I've been exposed. Everyone can hear my voice now. Fuck.
Quick, Birdman, cover your dick. Cover it.
I cover my dick.
Now no one will be able to understand you. Mission successful.
Now no one will be able to understand you. Mission successful.
Still understand you.
Birdman, I'm serious. You are not to say anything.
I'm always serious.
Ooh, what does he have to say?
Oh, see, you've done it to yourself now.
Anyway,
Is it a private sex toy? I know some people aren't really comfortable with talking about those things. But it's okay. I will not judge you for anything that you use on your person.
would anyone like sugar for their coffee?
Yes.
Yes, please. Add milk.
Hilaria,
Okay.
double please.
Yeah, she makes her coffee like really strong, like it's almost pure espresso. So she gives people some cream and sugar.
I'm not gonna sleep for days. I will be up for
Real life? Perfection. Because at work I always take like a quadruple espresso because everything else is
Dude, this is like a coffee cup full of espresso.
I will
Just
be awake.
straight,
I will be
strong.
awake for 4 days.
Perfect.
I will probably get a level of exhaustion next time we play.
Now, according to the rules, you can. What's your Constitution modifier?
0.
It
Yeah,
should.
so you can
One.
say 1 day without penalties. Easy.
1.
That's an assumption. Um. So, okay. We're drinking coffee and making plans. That's the gist of what I'm hearing.
Making plans to
I
sleep.
can stay up for 4 or 5 days without penalties. It's great.
I don't adhere to that rule because that's stupid. That makes no logical sense.
I feel like there should be a balance between
I was gonna
that
say-
rule and killer's rule, where if you stay up
say-
too long, you just die.
I know Seth, and I know that Seth will be like, hey, remember that session that you drank 4 cups of coffee and also drank like 90 raw ass espresso beans? Yeah, you have a level of exhaustion now. It's like, oh my god.
Caffeine crash.
Which would be fair, because they've got to nerf me somehow in combat.
And then when I'm not here, Seth will be like, oh, you remember that session that you drank all that coffee? Yeah, you were sleeping. You're dead. You're dead to the world. You'll wake up tomorrow. You'll wake up in 4 days.
You had a heart attack.
Not a heart attack.
You're fine.
I
Oh,
researched it
you're just
earlier,
cardiac arrest.
and apparently, if people give birds coffee beans, they'll get crazy, and like fly around their houses. And then if you give them too many coffee beans, they'll just like beat their heart into oblivion and flop over.
So we
Okay.
should give
Yeah.
a coffee bean to a hummingbird and see what happens.
No.
Oh dear
Sorry,
lord.
Brandon, you're just dead.
They're such precious creatures. No.
Well, actually,
Um.
it's not really a bird. So-
He is a bird
Yeah,
man.
you're an elf. We just stabbed